Hello everyone, this is going to be a Cuphead speedrunning tutorial for current patch all bosses category. We're going to be getting right into this, and I'm going to be showing you guys, starting off, all the various tech that is used. Now, you don't have to necessarily use all this tech right away, but it's good to know, like, these are good, your bread and butter tech that you will want to know moving forward. And I will be referencing this tech in the boss fights as we get to them. So I'll go ahead and explain all that. It's important to note that that I am going to be using lobber and spread. You might, if you've seen this category before, you might have seen pea shooter and spread, but recently, probably in the past month or two, there was a lot of push for this route being made, a lot of really good strategies being found with lobber that makes it a really fun weapon, but also a really fast weapon. It's actually about 20 seconds faster optimally, probably maybe even more by now, than pea shooter spread, and it's more consistent. So anyways, let's get right into starting to explain some tech. Like, why are we using lobber? Well, the main reason is because we're going to be using a technique called 2 times damage lobbers. Let me actually go and show you that. I realized I should have been at repack. But essentially, normally when a lobber EX blows up on a boss, it's just going to do regular damage, right? Like that's basically what you'd expect. But if you actually have the EX blow up next to the boss, rather than on him, it does double damage. So let me get a card here. And normally the lobber EX, I'll show you how much damage it does normally. So you can see up at the top left, I have the HP of the bosses. This will be in a paste bin link. I'll be linking to everything that I reference and use in this tutorial. Oh man, that pause on potato. And one of the things is a debug mod that lets you see the HP and do some other cool things for practice, like give yourself full super cards whenever you want, give yourself invincibility. This is not allowed in the speedrun, but again, is great for practice and experimentation, and I will be using it in this tutorial. So I'll show you about how much damage a regular lobber EX does here. So you can see, you know, not really anything too special. I'll give myself some cards here. You can see about how much damage it's doing. It's around the 30 range. But if I go over here and I stand next to him, it's important that you need to be pretty dang close to the boss. You don't want to be like as close as possible, but it just pretty close. And if you just shoot straight down with an EX, watch how much more damage it does. So that right there is the 2 times damage lobber tech. And this is why lobber is awesome. One of the many reasons. And I'll be showing you some of the other ones in a bit. So this will be tech that you'll definitely want to be making use of to really take full advantage of this weapon. But there's some other tech that I want to explain first. Before I actually start showing the route, the bosses, all that kind of stuff. And the first thing on that list is going to be Cala swaps. Now, this is not... It's easy to understand from a text point of view, but it is quite difficult to master. But I think it's something definitely worth learning from the start. So essentially what a Cala swap is normally when Cuphead, when you shoot an EX, you stop shooting your gun. So you'll see on my controller cam, I am holding the shoot button. But when I push EX, I stop shooting bullets so that it can let the EX out. So an EX essentially causes a pause in your shooting. But if you push weapon swap after pressing EX, you actually will start shooting your gun again. And you'll shoot an EX of the other weapon too. So you can see as soon as I switch, I'm getting bullets again. course, it's with lobber because I'm switching weapons, obviously. But this is already incredibly useful. But how you'll actually be using it in a real run, because spread does the most damage from just like a regular shooting point of view, as long as all 4 bullets are hitting. A lot of times you'll be hitting a boss like this, and you'll use the EX and then switch back to spread like that. So it's really important to practice this. And if you you will see the extra bullets come in. That's how you'll know if you're getting this or not. Actually, let me demonstrate this with Pea Shooter, because it's a lot easier to see, because lobber, there's kind of a delay in between each shot, so it's a little harder to noticeably see. This works with any weapon combination. It's important to note that. Also, yeah, I use basically default controls. The only difference is my Y and B buttons are swapped. So my B button is dash, as you can see, and my Y button is EX. That's definitely important to take notice of. Also, in the paste bin link that will be with this tutorial, I have my control set up and SBD Wolf's control set up, who is an incredible runner at this game. All right, here we go. This should be really easy to see. So normally I press EX, I stop shooting bullets, but if I press EX and then weapon swap, I start shooting bullets again. This just gets you extra DPS. Super important to practice this, and incredibly useful. You'll see me start using these on the very first boss root pack if you want to see a practical application. But really, it's just useful all over the place. So hopefully that explains that. If anyone in chat has any questions, feel free to put those in there and I'll respond. Some other just little general tech is for movement. This is useful in Forest Follies, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. But it's good to know. They're called jump dashes, and essentially, when you spam dash, you can see how there's like a little delay in between each dash. Well, if you jump right after a dash and push dash again, like that, there's no delay. And then when you land again, you can dash again. So you can end up having really fast movement like this. Because when you press jump, it resets the cooldown on your dash, and when you land, it resets the cooldown on your dash. So that's why you can chain these together for incredibly quick movement. So that's something kind of useful to know. But again, these are all techniques that you don't need to master yet or anything, or even you're not even forced to use it. So nothing too complicated. Another useful one, I like to call tiny steps. And basically this is a tiny step. It's when you're trying to position on certain bosses, which you'll see will be useful later on. But you don't, you like, normally you tap right, and you're like, crap, I moved way too far than I wanted to. So for tiny steps, you just tap forward, and then push the lock button. The button that makes you stand still. And this'll give you very specific, more accurate positioning. So that's kind of a useful thing there. All right, let me see. Yeah. Now I gotta explain something really quick with lobber, and then we'll get right into the actual route, the run, and the bosses. Again, I will have timestamps for all the bosses and everything. So for people not interested in the tech and whatnot, you'll be able to skip straight to those. But I think all this stuff is incredibly important to know, because this is how you'll beat the bosses fast, is knowing this tech. All right. So last thing that I'll be showing in here is lobber traps. So basically, if you just hold up and shoot with lobber, you're going to be setting up a lobber trap. This is what a lobber trap is. This will be immediately useful on Root Pack and on a lot of other bosses, and you'll see why. But basically, you could set up this trap, the boss steps into the trap, they get hit by a whole lot of damage at once. So this is going to be useful tech to know, too. All right. And then no swap lobber EXs. So what this is, basically, if you just hold down, remember how I was teaching you about the 2x damage lobber EX that you'll be doing next to bosses? If you just hold shoot while doing that, you'll let out a lobber shot in between each one. See that little lobber shot? This is super easy. I'm holding down, shoot, and just pressing EX. That's actually really useful tech to optimize your damage. Yeah, more complex detail on Calva swaps. That will be explained in the advanced tutorial. All right, I believe that's everything for in the tutorial. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Oh, yeah. There's one thing I'll show on playing real quick. And then I'm going to start a new file, and we'll be getting right into the actual run and bosses. It's just really important to know all this tech for sure. All right. So the thing I'll be showing for this is the quick mini bomb. So basically, if you just double tap weapon swap, you'll get a quick mini bomb like that. You can only really do that once, unless you refresh the cooldown, but that's something you don't have to worry about. I just think it's kind of a cool thing to know that at least one time per boss fight, you can just do that and get a little extra damage. It'll help you kill things a little bit quicker. So nothing too complicated there. Just double tap weapon swap and you get a little mini bomb. At least once per fight. All right, let's start into the run. I'll start explaining some things to you as I go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, just spam start, just to skip this intro scene. And then while it's already in loading screen, immediately start spamming dash. If you spam dash, you'll get over to this guy as quickly as possible. Just kind of spam A through his text. And once you're done talking to him, just exit the map. Because we actually don't do the tutorial. We don't need the coin there. We actually need a lot more coins than the tutorial, which only has one. So we'll be actually doing Forest Follies. Spam A as you're walking past this guy. You'll pick up all these coins. And that'll be... yeah. That'll get you 3 of the coins, and we'll need 5 more, which we'll get from Forest Follies. So I'm just going to quickly explain Forest Follies. This is can be a pretty difficult level, and it's the only run and gun in the entire route that we do. Again, we need to do this to be able to get enough coins to get lobber and spread, which is our weapon combo of choice. So the most important thing, like absolute most important, is always hold shoot during the whole level. Like this will make your life so much easier. Because those guys die in one hit. So you can really kill them pretty quickly. Now, I'll show this level a couple times, but first off, you just want to make sure that you're getting all the coins and hopefully avoiding taking damage. If you take some damage, it's okay. But it's pretty easy to just accidentally get hit in this level, so it's good not to avoid damage if you can. You need to get that parry to get that coin there. So that's something important to know. Also, this tutorial does assume that you have played the game before. So knowing about parries and all that is definitely important to know. I'll be going through this level again one more time. I'm just kind of showing you a very slow way through the level. All right, we'll go through it one more time. So, yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing for that level is holding down the shoot button. Like, you can see it's not that bad. If you're not trying to go, like, super fast, it's not that bad to just kind of get through it, get all the coins. There's nothing too complicated. That one coin, you do want to make sure you get the parry and get up there and get that coin because it's really hard to get that coin otherwise. Now, for an actual speedrun that you might do, just kind of dash through. You know, jump up there, get that coin. See, I already got these coins, but I just wanted to show you where they were at the first time. Just kind of dash through. The second coin would be right here. Yeah, it's okay if you get hit. Don't have to worry about going too fast. You know, get that parry, get that coin. I'm gonna die. So yeah, don't feel bad if you die on this level. There's another coin. It is a difficult level for all skill levels, but it's not too bad as long as you're not trying to go too fast, for sure. You can kind of wait on these piranha plants if they're scaring you. You can get ahead of them. That's some stuff you can experiment with, but I don't want to overwhelm anyone. All right, so yeah, that's Forest Follies. Basically just collect the coins, get through the level, try not to die, make sure to hold shoot down. That's basically all you have to worry about. You see also, this is some cool tech. You see how on the skill level thing there was 2 stars? And it popped up like 1 star, 2 stars. If you spam the A button really hard, sometimes both stars appear at the same time. And that saves 0.8 seconds on every scoreboard screen that you get it on. It's not consistent that we know of yet, but you will get it a few times. They'll both just pop up and it feels really nice. Star skip is best skip, for sure. The next thing I'll be showing is the shop skip. So we got our 8 coins. Now it's time to shop. So what shop skip is, you don't have to go for this, but I think it's worth explaining. You want to highlight over spread, and you want to push A and B at the exact same time. And I mean exact same. If one of them is even a frame, like, you know, like, or like 0.1 second, however you want to think of it, you know. If it's off at all, the skip won't work. But if you push them at the exact same time, it'll buy the item and close the shop at the same time instead of having to take forever to buy the things and then close the shop. You can kind of do both at once. So once you buy it, start spamming A too, because lobber is going to appear here too, and we also want to buy it. So that's shop skip. You can see it kind of bought lobber as it was already exiting the menu. Now for this guy, just kind of open up this. You could press Y there when you're equipping spread. Like I equipped lobber here, and then I'm going to equip spread here, but you could press Y to get rid of that pig early on. Or otherwise, you'll end up closing this menu out, and the pig's tutorial thing that's like, open up your menu and equip your weapon, it'll still be here, and you'll have to open it up again and then close it. But you can close his menu out preemptively like I did there just by pushing Y and then equipping spread. So yeah. As far as practicing that, yeah, you need to do follies every time. So we'll keep getting in now to our first boss fight. So this is where the fun starts. All right. So this is where all the fun starts. Here we go. So just start off with root pack. Just shoot a couple lobber shots at him and then switch to spread. You do have to get used to how to jump over these attacks. They're always the same every time, though, so it's pretty easy to memorize this pattern. Now, you remember that lobber trap thing I was telling you about? This is the first place that you'll want to use this. So we killed Potato. We're already legendary speedrunners. Set over here, put up that lobber trap, and then when he's about to pop out, move out of the way. You can see all those bullets hit him immediately. Look at his HP up there. It already did like 100 damage, basically, out of the Onion's health, just from that trap. Now, immediately after that, all you have to do is shoot 2 EXs down while holding shoot, and then switch to spread. That'll hit him with those 2 times damage lobber EXs. Now, it's important to note, you do want to be like here, or here. You don't want to be all the way back here. Or the EXs, the explosion from those lobber EXs are not going to reach him. So you do want to be really close to him. You want to be close to him to hit him with a spread shot anyways. So that's just kind of important to know. For this guy, you just kind of want to jump up into him with spread. I'll show you a bit of an optimization after this, but yeah. Jump up into him with spread. Don't be afraid to damage boost. You know, you could dodge some, hit him with some lobber EXs. And bam, already first boss done. I'll be going over that in the advanced tutorial. Sublime. All right, so I'll show the fight one more time. I'm going to show a cool little optimization you could do on Carrot. Using the Cala swaps that I was talked about earlier in the tutorial. This is actually a great place to really work on your Cala swaps, is going to be versus the Carrot. Because it's kind of a low-intensity fight. It's not very stressful. And you don't really have to move left or right against the Carrot. So it's a really good place to practice these. But you can do the fight like I just did, and you saw it wasn't that bad of a time. It's a pretty quick kill on the root pack still. All right, so again, we're just going to hit him with some lobber shots while we're running at him, and then switch to spread. Kind of jump over those attacks. Go over here. You can see that that bag of fertilizer or whatever you can use as a Q. Set here, use the lobber EXs down. Switch to spread. You can dodge the tears. You can also put a lobber trap here if you're feeling spicy. And here's the Cala swaps. So this is where you're switching to the other weapon to use the lobber EX instead of the spread EX. Because the spread EX is like this, I'll show you, it's like this outward thing. And you have to be, like, basically inside of a boss for it to actually hit all the shots of it. So it's better there to switch to lobber EX. So you can see, though, that saved a few seconds of time. So that'll be, like, once you want to start working on your Cala swaps, once you want to start cutting times down, that'll be a good way to start, is trying to do those on the Carrot. Yeah, I'll show you the spread EX real quick. That's worth showing. Why you'd want to switch to lobber EXs there. So this will be the last time through the root pack. I just want to show you what happens if you're using EXs without switching weapons, using the Cala swap. But yeah, just set up your lobber trap. You can set here and do that. Again, you want to be kind of close to him. Set up a lobber trap here. And look, this is what happens if you just EX. See how like 3 of the things are missing? You could do that, but it's not going to be as good as using the lobber EX. Again, don't be afraid to just damage boost through those rings if you have 3 HP. Obviously, if you're at 1 HP, then dodge them off over to the left or the right. But yeah. That's root pack. That's really all there is to it. There is ways to save even more time. For people interested in like optimizing times or seeing the best times possible, I will have a paste bin link that will have the advanced tutorial in it, which I'll be doing after this one live. And it'll also show the best times that anyone's achieved on these bosses using this route. Now, this is the first boss where there's a lot of tech. I think everyone on their first time playthrough didn't have too much trouble with like root pack or Goopy, maybe a little bit on Goopy. But you came to Ribby and Croaks and you're like, okay, this game is pretty dang hard. But we're gonna show an easy way. I'm gonna show an easy way to get through it. Basically, just stand back here and lobber.
Here goes.
Like you can just chill here, just kind of hold lock and kill the beast. That way you don't have to worry about them. You can switch to spread here and jump over these. It always does a low, like the same pattern. A low punch, mid punch, high punch, mid punch. So it's pretty simple. You can kind of fire some EXs here. Switch to spread shot. You'll get this kind of weird fan phase. I have no idea. He's like throwing around Saturns or something. Just kind of hold either weapon that you want. Shoot him. And you'll get the transition right here, so nothing too difficult. So you kind of can just dodge these coins and parry this thing as it comes down. It's important to note there's 3 attacks that you can get here. There's the bulls, which I'm getting now, which has, you'll see, it's like flames that shoot up, flames that shoot down. I'll be showing every attack. There's also the snakes and the tigers. We'll be going through all those. Generally, though, just hold your lobber shot and kind of you can just shoot a bunch of EXs at him. You can stay pretty far back if you don't feel safe. Yeah, nothing too tough. Get this thing again, you'll get another pattern. Here's snakes. So snakes basically just jump over these, you know. Normally you'd be holding shoot down, but I want to show all three patterns. But yeah, nothing too bad. You'll get used to it. I think the hardest one at first is tigers, so hopefully we'll be getting tigers here in a minute. I might just finish the fight, because I'm going to have to do this fight a few times to show you different ways, and you'll be able to see tigers also. But yeah, you could practice the fight like this too, by the way. Like I'm doing right now, just not shooting, and just getting used to dealing with the attacks, you know? We keep getting snakes every time. But yeah, don't be afraid to just like shoot some EXs too. If you're feeling bold, you can actually get really close to him, well, not like that, and hold the spread shot down. Okay, here we go. So here's how I would deal with tigers. You can just jump on one and then walk off the edge until they start getting close, and then you need to do this, where you kind of just jump from one to the other. And just, of course, hold your lobber shot down the whole time. I'll be showing a more difficult way of dealing with that in a second that's a little bit better if you're wanting to use your EXs too. It's important to note with that strategy, just don't even EX. Like the one I just did versus the tigers. I would not worry about EXing because that'll mess up your timing. Just hold lobber shot down, and that'll help you get through tigers, hopefully. You'll get used to it. Tigers is the one that gives people the most trouble, and I think that that's the easiest strategy to deal with it when you're starting off. So, let's actually do the fight again, and actually just beat it this time using the strategy I just showed you to kind of reinforce that. It's important to note that Ribby can start off with either this attack, the punches, or the flies, which sometimes I call bees, but they're actually flies. And then he just does the other attack right afterwards. So that's basically all there is in this phase. There's just two attacks. You can use the EX to kind of help you jump over that guy. Now, I will be showing actually a very quick way of doing this fight afterwards. But this is the way I recommend starting off with this fight, you know. But if you're feeling spicy, I'll be showing you a really, really cool speedrunner tech to getting through this fight. But yeah, you can kind of just shoot EXs. You can actually see my EXs are blowing up in front of the machine rather than on it. I wouldn't worry too much about this, but this is hitting them with 2 times damage. And as you can see, you can kill that in one cycle, even without doing any kind of Cala swaps or anything. And that's because those EXs are blowing up next to the machine rather than on it. It does double damage that way, but I wouldn't even worry about it. Like, if it happens to you in a run, that's awesome. But I wouldn't even worry about going for that at first. If you have to take 2 times through the slots, like go through 2 patterns, that's what you're normally going to get. All right. So I'm going to show 2 things. Remember how I said there was the punches first and the flies first? I'm going to show a quick strategy for both of those. Let's see which one we get first, and then I'll start explaining.
A brawl is surely brewing. Now,
actually, there's something important I need to explain first. So Ribby's the frog in the front, and Croaks is the frog in the back. Croaks, you can actually hurt him. See how it's hitting him? But it doesn't actually damage him. Like, look at the health bar. See how the health bar is not moving? It's because he's actually invulnerable, even though it looks like you can hit him. But after you've dealt a certain amount of damage that he would normally go into his next phase, you know, with all that spinning craziness, like the fan and Saturn thing I showed you, if you've actually done enough damage to like trigger that phase, then he starts taking damage. And there's a cool little spot where you can actually hit both frogs at the same time. So if you switch to spread shot and you get really close, see how they're both flashing right now? That's because my bullets are actually hitting both of them. So we're actually dealing double damage right now. And that's really important to know for the two things I'm about to show you.
This match will get red hot. Here goes.
So I would get over here and duck. Now here's punches first. You can see he's about to start the punches. So you want to start off getting close to him like this. Doing the double damage thing. The reason I do the double damage thing at the start, even though it's not actually dealing double damage yet, because like I said, Croaks is invulnerable, is because you still generate the same amount of cards as if you were dealing double damage. So it's like double card generation. You don't have to do this. Like, you can kind of just walk up to him and use spread shot on him. You don't have to get into this really close spot like I do. But anyways, when he's about to punch, you just dash back. Now, when he throws his next to last punch, that punch right there, that's his next to last punch. Just stop DPS. The reason you want to stop DPS, do you see the HP counter at the top? It might be kind of hard to see, but there's like these black lines on the debug mod, and this indicates when the next phase begins. If I kept shooting him, then what would happen is I'd actually trigger the next phase, and we don't want that yet. Where Ribby would roll across, they'd start doing the spinning fan thing, and it's not as fast as what we're about to do. So just jump over this punch, and you want to get into position here. After the punches are done, get into that close spot I was telling you about. Once Ribby does this with his hands one time, then start DPSing him again, because that's your like visual cue. And again, I'll show this a couple times because this is like more advanced. And again, you could just skip over this and skip the Goopy if any of this is too complicated. But I think you guys can get it down and enjoy it, because this is more of like understanding it. It's not actually too difficult. It's just like you have to know the visual cues and stuff. So anyways, once he spins his fist one time, start spread shotting in this double damage spot. Switch to lobber and shoot 3 EXs, then back to spread. Now here's kind of an annoying part. These flies kind of come at you. You can see, like, by the way, on the HP, I've already triggered him into his next phase. So this is like not that hard to do. Like, he's already into the next phase. We're just waiting for the animation to happen. But yeah, you can kind of shoot these bees, shoot them some. And yeah, this is super skipped. So I'll be showing that again without the pauses. I just wanted to kind of guide you guys through it. Let me get that pattern again and show it to you through smooth one time. Okay, that's bees first. I'll be showing something for that too, but I want to not confuse you yet.
Good day for a swell battle. Now go.
Okay. So he's going to do the punch, dash back, jump over these. Here comes the next to last punch. Stop. Get in position. He spins his fists. We start shooting again. Switch to lobber. Shoot 3 EXs. Keep hitting these guys the best you can. It's okay if you get hit by the bees. And bam. There's the super skip. So it kind of glitches out the game. That's obviously not intended. That's because we basically kill his ban phase before it ever happens. Here's the tigers. Let me actually wait until I get tigers again. And then I'll be able to show you guys the other way of dealing with tigers too. Oh, crap. But yeah, don't be afraid to EX here. It can be kind of tough. If you're low on HP, just be careful. Maybe just make the jumps. You can do Cala swaps like I was doing there, or you can just stick to using lobber. Either way is fine, whatever you're comfortable with. We'll get tigers again in a minute, then I'll actually show the other strat for tigers. Reading a message in chat here real quick. You want to get this? SB Wolf said, this is important to get since they get invincibility at that health, so you want to get the cycle in the least shortest cycles possible. Yeah, exactly. Like, the idea behind that super skip is we're skipping as much attacks from Ribby as possible. Because once they're triggered into the slot machine phase, they turn invulnerable. Because the game's waiting for the slot machine to come down, because that's the next part you can actually hurt. So that's why we're trying to, like, get them into that phase as quick as possible, and then, like, you just want to shoot them still to generate cards, but you're not actually hurting them once, like, once Croaks has opened up his mouth and Ribby's about to roll into it, they're invulnerable at that point. Like, that's when you know they're invulnerable. So don't use EXs on them there. Just shoot them regularly to generate cards. Now I'm going to show the B first skip. This is not a super skip. It's not going to be as glitchy looking. Okay, here's B's. So basically just stand in this nice little spot, kind of deal with these Bs. Ribby's about to do his punches, dash back. You can shoot an EX here if you want. Now what's important about this skip is once that last punch is done, we want to quickly get up close to them, switch to lobber, and just shoot a whole bunch of EXs down. Like this. Okay, then just kind of shoot them, jump over this guy. And this is what's called the regular skip. This is what you'll want to do on Bs first for that pattern. It's not too hard. The most difficult and important spot of that is, okay, so he does B, or he does the flies. I should call them flies. Then he does punches. Soon as the punch attack's done, get really close, fire a ton of EX lobbers at the floor. Again, that's really important because it does double damage when you shoot him at the floor right next to a boss. Here, it's actually doing 4 times damage because normally it does double, but it's hitting Ribby and Croaks, so it's multiplying up to 4 times damage. So that's how we're able to kill this guy so stinking fast. Like, his HP just melts effectively with the strat. Let me see if I can get Tiger so I can show the close range Tiger strategy. Again, if you want to start incorporating some harder tech, you can switch to spread here, do Calva swaps to lobber. See, it's easier to get hit. That's why I kind of recommend just staying back, but you guys can experiment, you know, feel free to always experiment, try different things out. Dude, we've gotten snakes so many times. I want to show the other Tiger strat, and then we'll move on. Yeah, I'll be going over that, Wolf. For sure. But again, this is a good way to dodge these. This attack is completely random. Tigers and snakes is always the same. When you get it, like, the spacings between them and everything is the same. That attack, though, whether the flame shoots up or down, is completely random. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, one important thing to know is if you kind of screw up the fist first super skip, most likely you'll get the regular skip. Like, okay, here we go. Let me show this. So basically you do this. Oh, well, he kind of died right then, but that's how it works. Like, you jump on the platform, you jump up, you use an EX, you land on the next one, you jump up, you use an EX, you land on the next one. You'll see people doing that in runs all the time. That's the most, that's like the kind of a little bit more of an advanced way of dealing with it. But I recommend the other way anyways. But at least that kind of showed you an example. I kind of wish he didn't die so quick, but... Alright. Does everyone feel good about Ribby? I'll show what happens if you get the regular skip on punches first, just so people know. And this is still pretty fast. Yeah, he's doing flies first. I just don't want to spend too much time on each boss. Okay. So let's say you're doing this. Remember to stop DPS on that next to last punch. Let's say you get here, and you do your EXs, but you're kind of messing up. You waited too long, you're not doing enough damage, and then this happens. Don't feel bad, because more than likely, you'll get this, the regular skip. So, yeah, that can happen. If that happens, it means your DPS was not as good as it could have been, which is okay, though. You know, you still get a pretty good time. Dude, I really want to get Tigers one time. Let me get Tigers one more time. I already told people they could skip over to Goopy if they didn't want to learn some more difficult stuff, but I do want to have this in the tutorial. Yeah, hopefully the controller inputs does help people. Again, I'll just repeat this real quick. My dash button and EX buttons are swapped. Other than that, it's default controls. Dude, I literally cannot get Tigers. I should have pre-recorded footage for the different patterns on this. That would save me time. But again, I'll have a timestamp so you guys can skip to Goopy. But for people interested in seeing Tigers, the other strat I was talking about, I want it in there. It's like a 1% chance to get Tigers, apparently. Is there any questions people have in chat for Ribby that I maybe missed explaining? Or do you feel like that's good for now? Okay, here we go. So just do this. This looks hard, but it's just a rhythm. You kind of just jump EX, and then the Tiger platforms started getting closer together, and by then you probably run out of all your cards. And then you could kind of just jump from one platform to the next, and you won't get hit. It's just a rhythm. But yeah, there we go. Now you guys can actually see that. Or you can do the other strat, like I said, it's easier. Just hold lobber shot, stay in the back, jump on the platform, walk off of it, jump on the next one, walk off of it, and you'll be fine. And you'll get way faster times than 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Okay. So moving on to Goopy. Thankfully, Goopy is going to be a lot... Like, Ribby is honestly... Really, there's a lot to Ribby for being early in the run. Goopy, there's not a lot to him. So if you were overwhelmed at all by Ribby, which hopefully you weren't, you know, you could just do the easy strat rather than the super skip or regular skip. But if you were at all overwhelmed by Ribby, hopefully you definitely won't be by Goopy. Basically, just shoot lobber at him.
Good day for a 12 hour.
Like, just kind of dodge him, walk under him there. Just have a nice old time lobbering him. You could duck under this and hold spread shot if you want, if you're close. Okay, when he's like transitioning into phase 2, just hit him with one of those double damage lobber EXs I was talking about. You can just hold down here and do that, and then switch to spread. You can let him jump over you. Just kind of keep shooting him with spread. He's bigger, so he's easier to hit. Now, when you see this, this is like your moment to like do all kinds of EXs. So when he's about to transition into his last phase, just switch to lobber and spam EX until you've done 4 of them. And then switch to spread shot and shoot that thing. He's dead. You don't even have to deal with the last phase. Like, if you do that strat, you will never have to deal with that last phase. What's important is that you're close enough to Goopy, again, so that the 2 times damage lobbers that you're shooting straight down are actually hitting them. You need to be close to him for that to happen. And then other than that, that's basically it. Yeah, for that fight actually requires no Cala swaps, but the Cala swaps were in the tech part of the tutorial. And I will be highlighting all this. I will, if you stick around for the advanced tutorial, I'll be explaining Cala swaps in more detail, though, for people interested in that. So yeah, as part of the route, you have to come up here next and interact with this thing, and then just exit the level as soon as you do. All right, Hilda. This is going to be the hardest level out of aisle 1. I think casually it's the hardest, and for most people, and for speedrunning it's going to be the hardest too. But I'm going to give you some safety strats and stuff to go for. Yeah, I'll show you the easiest way to do this fight first. And then I'll show you a couple things involving damage boosts, which damage boost is where you take damage on purpose in order to deal to save time in the long run. Yeah, basically just shoot her, dodge this. You have to deal with the bull face here. Okay, that little guy right there, it's important to know his name is Petey. The first little plane that comes out during the bull phase will always shoot a parry. Or should always shoot a parry. His name, we have actually named him Petey. Make sure to never kill him, he's your best friend. Kind of just dodge that. Now, once you have a super, don't be afraid, just go over here and super her. I recommend doing supers rather than EXs. You can mini plane to kind of get around those tornadoes. Dodge this. You can shoot EXs if you want, or just save up for a super. Saving up for a super is probably easier. That attack either starts shooting down or top, and it can go clockwise or counterclockwise. So if you stand on the sides when it first comes out, you'll be fine. She can do another attack there. I'm just gonna hit her with the super here. I'll show the other one too, where she could turn into an archer. Okay, really important to notice. When she starts doing this, like, whoa, when she starts this phase, she does not take damage. So check her HP bar at the top. No damage is being taken. This is really important to notice because, like, people will EX her, they'll super her. I used to EX her during this, and it's literally doing no damage. So you could shoot her and generate cards, but she's not actually going to take damage. See, there she starts taking damage again once she's actually turned into the moon. For this phase, just fire a bunch of EXs. Dodge the stars. The red UFOs, if you didn't know this, you wanna move past them like this. And the brown ones, actually, you want to like bait them like this. Because they fire when Cuphead gets near them. Whereas the red ones fire when Cuphead goes past them. I actually did not know that for the longest time when I first played this game. So yeah, just kind of dodge stuff, fire a bunch of EXs. You can parry things if you want. It's not too bad. I think with that strat, most people will get through the fight. And that's a reasonably quick time. Yeah, damage boost is what you say to cover when you accidentally take damage. Exactly. So I'm going to show the fight again. And I'm going to show 2 damage boosts, optional damage boosts, that do save a bit of time. But they do involve you taking damage, obviously. So once you start getting good at this fight and you're feeling comfortable with it, maybe just go for one of these damage boosts. And eventually you can start incorporating both once you feel that you are ready. So that's how I'd start off with that fight, though, is how I just did it. So the damage boosts happen during the booty blast. You literally just sit here, get hit, wait a little bit, and then shoot an EX. And you can see that missile kind of just flies through her and just hits her like 9 or 10 times. Yeah, don't kill Petey. He blesses the run. If you kill him, it curses the run. Don't be afraid to use mini plane to dodge stuff. Super her when you get the chance. See there, I built up a super, so I couldn't do the next damage boost, but if you had a card, I'll show the fight one more time without pausing and interrupting everything. If you had another card there, then you could do that same damage boost I did earlier. Oh, I didn't get the archer anyways. I want to show the archer. So yeah, there it started on the top, and it's going counterclockwise. But yeah, don't feel bad if you struggle with this fight. It's a pretty tough fight. Again, she's invulnerable here. Just really keep that in mind. For this phase specifically, when she sticks her head out like that, your EXs are hitting her a lot. So it is better to use EXs rather than using a super on this phase in particular. Just because they fly through and hit her so many times. Alright, so that was the fight with just the 1 damage boost. I think that's something that a lot of people could learn. Look how much faster that was already. But I'll show it with both damage boosts. I'm not going to do anything too crazy optimal or whatever. But I will show the... I do want to show both damage boosts and what that looks like.
A real high-class bout. Now
yeah. Yeah, you keep shooting her when she's transitioning into the final phase because you do build cards even though it's not actually hurting her. I think that's what tricks people into thinking you're hurting her, is because you are building cards. I recommend firing an EX off here, just so that you don't build up 5. And then fire an EX off there. Because if you hit up to 5 cards, you'll use a super. Which again is not bad, but I just wanted to show the 2 damage boosts. Don't be afraid, like I said, never be afraid to mini-playing. That's something I underused a lot when I was first speedrunning the game. Like, yeah, it loses you damage because the mini-plane bullets don't reach very far. But for just dodging in some difficult situations, you don't have to be afraid to use that. It's really useful. You can also shoot EXs through these beams if you want. There, I missed one because I was too low. But yeah, just kind of get through the fight. Alright. So I think that should explain Hilda pretty well. Hopefully. It is a hard fight. You'll just have to play it a good bit to get used to dodging all her attacks. You can get quite a bit of a faster time with that strat than I got there, but you know, if you start getting under 1:20 times, those are times to be pretty happy with starting out. Oh, I never got Sagittarius. Yeah, that's right. It gave me the other one all the time. All right, let me show that one more time. Grind out the 50-50. You guys get to see the damage boosts again. It takes a bit to get used to the timing there. Dodge that. They'll be afraid to use an EX. Well, can't do the damage boost. That's okay. You can just do a super if that happens. Okay, so this guy, he shoots an arrow and 3 stars. The stars home after you. So kind of just dodge them like this. You can kind of get them to circle around you. Or you can actually even shoot the little blue stars too. So yeah, that's basically the other attack that she can do. It's random whether she does that or the other one you saw earlier. The twins. What is actually the official name for the other form? I know it's all like Zodiac references, but all right. So now you did Hilda. Hilda was pretty tough, but now we get to do Cagney. Cagney is not bad at all. He might mess with you when you first start learning him. I think he does for most people. But once you get used to him, especially with lobber, he's not bad at all. Gemini, yeah, there you go. Like, all you need to do is dash to this 3rd platform and just shoot upright. If you get that attack, just duck down. You can even do some spread shot there or just keep using lobber. If you get that, you can just do that. Like, just shoot at Cagney, basically. And you don't even have to move for that one. Okay, now this is the one attack. There's this attack and the seeds, I think, that will give people trouble. For this one, you have 2 options. You can either run away and dodge, like that. You can jump over that. I'll show the other strat for that too. Or you can do this. That looked really sketch, but normally when you jump in EX, they kind of just miss you. So that's just something to keep in mind. For this last phase, you can use spread. You can also use your EXs whenever you want. You can just dodge this. I'll go through the fight a couple more times because there's a few more attacks I want to show off to you, and some other methods of dealing with some of them. Yeah, under 50 seconds, like that's not too bad. But I definitely want to show off the other attacks. So yeah, Cagney is not too bad though. Don't be afraid to just run back and dodge stuff if it worries you, but I'll show the kind of quicker way to do that too. So again, just dash up to this platform, up plus right, and use lobber. Okay, here's the seeds. So kind of just watch the top of the screen and dodge stuff as it falls down. You can kind of just kill these guys. Like that. So you don't have to deal with them. When this guy opens his mouth, you can kind of kill him too. Yeah, don't be afraid to dodge. I'll do the fight one more time after this, but at least that showed you another attack. You can do this too. Now that's like a little trickier. Where when you see the thorn about to come up and attack you, you can actually jump forward a little bit and then use a Cala swap, which is where you switch to a lobber EX and shoot that down at Cagney like that. So, and then you'll kind of safely land back on the platform. All right, I'll do the fight one more time, and I'll show it with some of the other types of dodges, and then we'll move on. Because there's not a lot of point spending a bunch of time on Cagney. Again, all these will be time-stamped in the description of the highlights, so you guys can just skip from fight to fight if you don't want to watch the whole thing. So just, when you see seeds, watch the top of the screen. See if you have to move or not. So here I didn't even have to move. Kind of deal with that. Here's that other dodge I was talking about. You can also duck under these if you want. I find it better to jump over it, but, you know, whatever you feel comfortable doing. You can deal with that guy. You can do this Cala swap. And just spread him to death. Or like I said, you know, don't be afraid to jump back and do that. Alright. I think that pretty well explains Cagney, right? 45. I don't think it's anything too crazy for him. That's it for aisle 1. Like, if you've made it this far in the tutorial, congrats. Like, you're already through an entire aisle. And yeah. There's a couple tougher things there. Like, you might struggle a little bit with some of those fights. You know, don't feel bad. If you have to do some super safe strats and just dodge and try and survive at first, you know, feel free to do that. You know, getting through your first deathless run through this game is a huge accomplishment, and for everyone on their first time, so don't feel bad if it takes you a while. And don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. If you ever feel like, hey, I've mastered these fights from how he told me, and I want to save more time, I'll have an advanced tutorial too. So skip through this aisle and spam start. You just spam start to skip that little scene. It's important to note that you can start walking, like kind of before the screen even loads in. So just hold up plus right, and you'll already start walking out of this gate. All right, I'm gonna take a very quick break. Again, all these will be actually timestamped in the thing, but for the beginning of aisle 1, I'm gonna take a really quick break. Use the bathroom. All right. Yeah, let me know what you guys think so far in chat, and I'll be right back. Again, I'll be highlighting all this, so we'll do aisle 2 next. All right, be right back. All right, let's get right back into it. So, we got Bon Bon. Now, before I start the fight, it's important to note that there's 5 mini-bosses that you have to fight before you actually fight her. You only actually fight 3 of them, and the order in which you fight them and which of the 5 you get is random. So basically, you're fighting 3 random mini-bosses. You need to learn how to fight all 5 of them, so you kind of have to go through this fight several times. But I'll hopefully show you some, like, an overall general strategy that kind of works against all of them. And basically, that's stand in the back, hold up plus right, and lobber.
Is surely brewing. Here goes.
All right, this for this guy, just set up a little lobber trap and get out of the way. You can just stand over here, and he'll die without too much trouble. Get back into this position where you started, and hold up plus right. You can kind of dodge this guy, like that, just however you feel. He just follows you around. He's pretty self-explanatory. Get back into your spot, and hold up plus right. You can use spread shot on this guy when he gets close. Alright. Now the 3 bosses are dead. Get over here. Now, ideally, you want to learn how to do this fight where you get here with 3 HP and a whole lot of cards. You can experiment around, but this is the safest method of dealing with this final phase. You want to get over to her, as much HP and cards as possible, and just spam jump up into her with spread shot and use spread EXs, like this. Because you can see the spread EX is actually all the bullets hit her. And you could just tank through this. If you have 3 HP, literally just sit there and tank through it. Honestly, even with 2 HP, you should be able to just tank through that. I'll show backup methods and stuff. If you get there with 1 HP, it's pretty terrifying. So it's really good to practice getting there with at least 2 HP. So I need to get through this fight a few times to just show you what it looks like when you get different patterns.
Now go.
Okay. You should use spread shot there if you want. Switch back here. You don't even have to move if you don't want, unless you have to dodge one of his things. Kind of just shoot that guy. See, it's not too bad. If you just stay back here and lobber, it's nothing too terrifying. This guy's pretty annoying. After the first mini-boss dies, little jelly beans start coming out, which is kind of annoying. After 2 mini-bosses are dead and the 3rd one comes out, she might even come out and pull her gun out and shoot you. It's important to know, too, that when she has her gun out, she doesn't actually take any damage. It's not until, like, she actually goes into the last phase that she actually starts taking damage. But yeah, get away from that guy. This guy I actually do recommend shooting an EX at if you get him later on. Otherwise, he becomes kind of a problem. Then just get over here and do the bunch of spread EXs. Be careful not to bump into the castle because it starts to kind of walk at you. You can dodge the head some if you want, like that. Kind of bait the head away from the boss, and then go back and start hitting him with spread again. That's kind of the backup if you're really low on HP and scared. I haven't got candy corn yet, so I'll keep doing them. But I kind of don't want to spend a ton of time on all these fights. But I do want to at least show you, like, you know, all the mini-bosses.
A great slam and then some.
Yeah, the HP tracker isn't always 100% accurate. That's important to know. So yeah, with this guy, just set up a little trap. Run over here to a safety spot and do that. If you don't kill him yet, just dash under him and keep lobbering him. No big deal. Okay, now for the candy corn, how he works is he has a timer where after so much time, you see that little dude over there? He kind of just leaves these, here's a little pointer. He kind of leaves these little dudes behind him after so much time. And for those guys, like, don't even worry about killing them or anything. Just try to dodge them and be aware that he can spawn them. The other thing that's kind of important about this fight is the candy corn only transitions from, like, up to down. He only ever moves up to down. about here in the middle of the screen, or on the leftmost or rightmost side. Those are the only times he moves up or down. And it's just random. For the part in the middle, it's random whether he goes up or down. Whereas when he hits a side, he always goes up or down. So that's kind of important to know with his movement. Once you get used to it, it's not too bad. So yeah, see there he went up in that spot I pointed out. You can kind of use this platform to help you out. You can use spread shot or lobber. Spread shot's probably better for that guy. But yeah, then just get back in your spot and, you know, deal with these guys however you see fit. I do recommend not... Just trying to make sure you don't get hit is really important. Which can be difficult sometimes. Like, that was actually a pretty tough dodge. But that's, you know... It's one of those fights you'll just have to practice. So you can kind of just jump up through her and do that. And if she throws her head early and you start getting hit, don't get scared. If you used a bunch of EXs on her, she'll go down before she kills you. If you have 3 HP for sure. And usually even if you only have 2 HP. Alright. Everyone feeling good about that for Bon Bon? This guy is Owl Clock. What? That's his unofficial name. Named by Zero Planes, who said he looks like an owl clock. Even though he is not an owl or a clock. Anyways, just kind of run up into this tent, spam A, and he'll give you mini bombs. Which are going to be really nice to have. Especially for Dr. Kahl. Like, that will save you a lot. So make sure you get the mini bombs from this guy. Really important. Okay. Moving on, we have Wally. Let's just get right into it. Wally, there's actually a safe space that I didn't know about when I was first doing this fight.
Good day for us.
Where if you just stand on the back and dodge the egg, you won't get hit. So yeah, just kind of shoot this guy. See, the way the egg breaks, if you're in the back, you won't get hit. As long as you don't get hit directly by the egg. So just keep shooting him, get this parry when you can. And when he transitions, use a super on him. Now, you only have that super if you parry one of the little birds. So you do want to parry one of them. You can kind of just stay back and shoot him like this, dodge the feathers. Just get in here. Kind of escape out once it closes in. Get a parry. When they're about to close it on you the second time, you could just use this super. And he'll go down. A cool little tech here is when he dies, push pause and then unpause. And it brings out the last guy faster. Really easy. You kind of bomb him a little bit, shoot him. I recommend just staying up here. When he spits the heart out, you can't hurt his body. You actually have to shoot the heart. But, you know, just try to dodge stuff. Just hit him with the mini bomb. You can go down here and shoot him from below. Shoot some EXs at him. If the screen's in a favorable position for you and it lets you down there, you can go down there and just, yeah, shoot him and EX him. It's a pretty self-explanatory fight when you know that safe spot. You know, phase 2, you just dodge the feathers while trying to shoot him. One thing to note is if you do send him into phase 2, where he starts the feathers, at the very top of the screen, it's kind of a nightmare. So, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen. You can avoid making that happen by tracking your own damage. A kind of a cool way to track damage is when you hit the boss, it generates cards. So what I do personally is when I'm like at 4.5 cards, if I've parried one bird, you know, this bird, like I know he's about to go for the next phase. Yeah, see how he just did it? So if he's like, if you ever get trolled where he keeps transitioning on the very top of the screen and then you like can barely hit him, you can use that little method where you're like, okay, I've parried one bird. I'm at about 4.5 cards. Let's wait to DPS him for a bit until he goes like more towards the bottom. Yeah, just stay back here and shoot him. You don't have to do much dodging. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit more of an advanced strat. It's not too bad, and I recommend learning it. But if during this phase, you can also get a parry like this, then what you can do is... Well, this is going to be kind of troll. I'm going to have to get an extra parry. You don't need that second parry, by the way. You only need one to parry one of those birds after phase 2 starts. And when these eggs start closing in on me, just use a super instead of running away. It's a little bit scary, but you can do that, parry this little gun. Basically, as soon as he fires the gun, just press parry. And you can see he dies much faster that way. But if you didn't get the parry, just do what I showed you before and kind of just escape out, you know? Do the little pause thing. Shoot some EXs here. Yeah, he's kind of closing in on me, so I'm going to go above. Just focus on dodging everything. There's kind of a lot going on in this fight, but you'll get used to dodging it if you play it a bit. All right, I think that's everything for Wally. He's probably going to be tough when you first are learning him, but especially once you get that super strategy I just showed you down, you probably won't have too much trouble with him. Again, for people looking for like super optimal times on these fights, like the really hard stuff that you'll have to spend a lot of hours practicing, I will be making an advanced tutorial right after this one. All right, so Djimmi. Djimmi's not too bad. I think he's the easiest playing level for most people casually, and it's the same way in the speedrun. There's nothing too overly difficult about Djimmi, which is really nice, because it's nice to have a nice breather after having to do like Bon Bon and Wally, and you got Beppi coming out. Yeah, so basically you just shoot him. He has 3 attacks. Oh, that doesn't hurt you, by the way, that smoke. Some people don't know that. Now that one does. Just kind of dodge stuff. Shoot 1 EX at him, generally. You don't have to, but I'll do it. You could just shoot these pillars. I'll show you the Djimmi fight one more time after this and show you kind of a little bit more of an advanced way to handle this phase. But first, I would just focus on getting through here without taking damage and just kind of taking these pillars out. Stay back here, shoot this guy. Dodge the ghosts. Once you get a super, you can go in here and use it. You might have a super right at the start of the phase. Just stay back here, shoot him. Now this hat, it's important to know how to bait this hat. What I do is I kind of get him to go down like that, and then I bait him up here because he tries to follow you. And then, like, if the hat's against the wall and you're against the wall, the hat just gets stuck. Like, check it out. See how he's not moving? And then the other important thing about this is that once the puppet steps, he kind of goes forward a bit and then he goes back. Once he starts going back, just get over here. And you'll actually get in behind his shots, which makes this so much easier. All right, using a super. Just super, you can super on the puppet if you have the cards. You can dodge this. Which is not what I did there. You could probably do better than me on that. If you have 3 HP, just tank through it. Like, who cares about dodging? But I'll show you how to dodge the attacks on this next attempt. Oh, there was the star skip. See how both stars appeared instantly? You get that again by mashing A. That was in the text section. It takes 0.8 seconds when they both appear instantly like that. All right.
This match will get red hot. It's on.
All right. Yeah, and go for parries on this phase too, if you can. I like to shoot 1EX. If you get hit, don't worry. It's not bad. Now, here's an interesting optimization. So, 6 bullets from the plane kill these little pillar faces. So if you shoot 5 bullets and then a mini bomb, because mini bomb's like, it's a slower, but it packs a bigger punch. It's like you end up dealing more damage to the pillars, and the damage you deal to these pillars carries over into the next phase. So what you kind of want to do is shoot like, 4 or 5 bullets, and then shoot a mini bomb, and you'll actually take these guys out really fast. So like that. Shoot a few bullets, then switch to mini bomb. And yeah, don't get hit by the pillars. But yeah, I have to show you dodges anyway, so this is perfect. Stay back here, shoot this guy. Get up close and super him. See, he dies really fast that way. That's because we over-damaged that one phase, and we were able to super him there. Just kind of shoot this guy. Get about here. Get the hat to come up at you, then go down. You'll get stuck. Move into this guy. It takes a little bit to, like, get this pattern down. And that guy can kind of, like, almost hit you. It's important to note that hand doesn't hurt you. Like, you can just straight up go through the hand. Alright. If you have a super, you can use that as a substitute dodge. Like, after you hit something with a super, you're invulnerable for a little bit. That's something actually really important to notice. So, like, all this stuff's about to attack me, bam, you can just super right through it. So if that's ever a problem, you can do that. You can dodge these attacks, like that. It's kind of a nightmare, though. But generally, you'll probably get hit with more than 1 HP once you get used to the fight. Like, I kind of got hit in silly places there. So yeah, I think that's all for Djimmi. Oh no, I need to show, I haven't showed all of his, let's see, I showed swords. I haven't showed, there's one other attack Djimmi can do. So Djimmi has 3 attacks he can do on phase 1. I just as well show all the attacks. But basically you just dodge them and parry when you can.
A brawl is surely brewing. Here goes.
Yeah, there's swords.
Here's a real high-class bout. Now go.
There's cats. Again, don't be afraid to mini-plane and dodge this stuff. Sometimes you get trolled like that. But it's okay. You could play it way safer than I was, like miss more bullets and dodge more. Just stay back. I'm trying to get his 3rd attack.
A great slam and then stop. Now
if he will cooperate. Mini-plane does reduce damage, yes. But it's useful for a quick dodge. Like this. Like, you know, that's going to be better to mini-plane than to, like, very slowly dodge over, you know?
A great slam and then stop.
So you don't want to use it, like, all the time. But it's good if you're in a rough situation. Dang, I can't get his other attack.
Surely brewing. Now go.
I'm bad at these 1 and 3s, man.
Here's a real high-class bout. It's on.
Djimmi? Djimmi? Dude, we got cats like 5 times in a row. This is one difficult... This is one difficult thing about practicing this game, is you want to practice against certain attacks, and you kind of just have to retry a whole bunch of times.
This match will get red hot. And begin.
Getting trolled. Okay, here we go. So yeah, basically just dodge this, parry that if you want. Don't be afraid to mini-plane. The dodge stuff. Actually, if you get a super this early, just use it. Don't be afraid to just use it on this guy if you actually get one. Alright. That shows you everything you need to know about Djimmi, though. Yeah, you don't have to do those dodges like I did, like playing it so close. Don't be afraid to just get the frick away if you need to avoid taking damage. But if you get hit, it's like I said, it's Djimmi. Like, you'll get him down, and even on 1 HP, you'll eventually get comfortable playing the rest of the phases, so it's not too bad. But generally, it's good on when you're beginning, or even an intermediate level to avoid taking damage. All right, Beppi. Here we go, here we go. So, for Beppi, just use lobber. Hold up plus right so that the shots bounce into him even if he runs away. You need to kind of kill those ducks. When he dashes at you, jump over him like that. You dash over top of him. Again, killing the ducks is pretty important or they'll troll you. For here, you can set up a lobber trap if you want. And then just use spread shot. You can use an EX here too. Actually, the full EX hits him, which is kind of cool. All right, now here comes the donkey. If anyone tells you it's a horse, they're wrong. Just kind of get under him and shoot him. Be aware of the train, though. You can actually see the train approaching you in the background. All right. So now, just kind of get in the middle of the screen and set up a lobber trap. And then switch to spread shot and spam EXs. And jump up on these platforms. When you jump from one platform to the next, you can kind of push down left for a bit. And what that does is when you jump, it helps angle the shots into the boss. But one thing to note if you're doing that, where when you jump forward, you're pushing down left, make sure you push down left after you jump. Because if you're holding down left and you push jump, you'll fall straight through the platform. So if you get messed up by that, I would not go for it. I'll show you a version why I don't do that, and I have to dodge the penguins. Because there he dies so quick that you don't have to deal with the penguins, and that's what I recommend learning how to do. Because the penguins are a nightmare. They're probably the hardest thing in the entire fight to dodge, for sure. But I'll show you a way of doing it if, like, you know, your damage isn't too super great, and you do have to deal with that. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes he'll transition right there if you've dealt enough damage. You could parry this guy if you want. Again, you could set up a lobber trap here if you want. No reason not to, right? Jump over these, use an EX. Don't be afraid. You could kill these dogs if you need to. The balloon dogs. You could also shoot some EXs at these guys if you want. Like 1 or 2. Just make sure you have 5 for the last guy. Just kind of spread these guys down and yeah. Nothing too bad. Set up a lobber trap. Alright. Yeah, again, guys, I'm mostly ignoring chat because I'm doing a tutorial for speedrun.com. Alright. So let's say you're just jumping like this. See all those bullets that are missing because I'm not pushing down left? This will make this guy go on longer, and you'll have to dodge these baseballs. So when the baseballs start coming out, don't even worry about hitting the boss. Just literally, like, look at the platforms, look at the baseballs, and just dodge. If you miss a bunch of damage, it's okay. It's better than just dying to baseballs. Alright. I think that about explains it for Beppi. You can get quite a bit better times than that. Yeah, but that's good enough. Alright. Now just head up here, do Grim next. There used to be an old route where you'd use this secret pathway to go from Wally straight to Grim, but we found out this is actually the fastest way through through Altu. Alright, now Grim. This is the first boss, I think, that truly destroyed most players on their first playthrough because he's really freaking hard, and he's hard in a speedrun too. Like, this is a boss where I will give you tips. I'll show you me playing through him some, and But you're just going to have to play this boss a lot to get comfortable with him. But I'll at least explain to you some different things. Starting off, I don't recommend spread shotting him ever. I would literally just use lobber. These clouds at the very start are always in the same spot. Every cloud after that is random. So you can kind of get trolled. Just jump over that. He can shoot 2 sets or 3 sets of lasers. He did 3 there. Once you deal a certain amount of damage to him, he'll start trying to hit you with the tail. The tail appears directly under you, and then you just have to dodge to the left or right when you hear it. The meteors start either down or up, and then they alternate. It's random if they start down or up, but the next ones will always be like it'll go up, down, up, down, up, down. Once the tail started coming out, though, and he does meteors again, then he could do a double meteor like that, where they actually go up and down. That's just something to keep in mind. He can also do the laser attack again, and he'll shoot 4, but it's not a big deal. All right, for this phase, you can... Oh, man, I like the animation I paused on for him. He'll start letting out these little flames. Every time you hear one make a sound effect, look down at them, and you'll see if they're, like, about to jump right or left. What I really recommend doing, and what makes this fight so much easier with lobber, is just staying as high up on the screen as you can. Get on the highest cloud that you can, and just shoot lobbers at him, shoot EXs at him, and just stay on the top of the screen. This gives you the most time to dodge the flames if they do jump at you, and also your lobber shots will hit it. You could jump, EX, see that flame? So when you hear one, you can see that died pretty fast, but he won't always die that fast. Same principle for this phase, stay near the top, and jump at EX. You might have to dodge these flames. This is the phase that you're really going to have to practice. You might have to go under that gun. You can use spread if you need to get close if you want, but you don't have to worry about it. Just use lobber. Dodge the flames. Shoot EXs above the screen. And you'll get through it without too much difficulty once you get used to it. My mods in chat will have to communicate to you all. So I'm focused on the tutorial, but yeah. So let's do this again. Like, I'm just gonna go through this fight like 3 or 4 times, man. Because there's so much different stuff that can happen. I think it'll just help you to just see me play it some. Again, at a certain point, you're gonna have to deal with that tail. Don't be afraid to just, you know, lose some DPS, dodge it. As long as you're holding shoot down the whole time, you'll kill Grim within a reasonable amount of time. Jump over stuff. Okay, so he transitioned a little sooner this time, so this phase will be a little longer, which is good. I'll get to show you. Kind of just jump and EX. You can even jump over the flames and EX if you're that high up. But yeah, you can also, to practice this, you can get used to just staying on the high clouds, not shooting, and just dodge the flames, and you'll get used to seeing how they jump. But thankfully, when you're high up on the screen, they're easier to dodge. All right. You can kill him. It's important to note when Grim he's transforming into that phase, his hitbox is really wacky. And it's just kind of stay away from it, you'll be fine. Yeah, you could just focus on dodging. Don't be afraid to jump above the screen and shoot an EX. Like, usually you'll be fine there. All right. Let's see. Do you guys think that's good for Grim? I think that explains the general strategy for him with lobber. I don't really know if there's anything else I need to demonstrate for him. If so, that will conclude Aisle 2. How are you guys feeling about that? I'm gonna pour myself some water here. I think that's fine. Again, Grim, you're just gonna have to practice him a lot. Like, it might have looked easy what I did there, but that's because I have a ton of time in this game, and even when I'm not trying to optimize, I just know how Grim attacks. For the last phase, make sure you stay far back, too. Like, as high up as you can, and as far back as you can. So you have the most time to react to the little flame orbs he shoots at you, because those can really troll you. Yeah, fight changes every time. It's going to be a bit different. Like, Grim, there's just so much that can change. I'll do it one more time, and then we'll move on to Aisle 2. Or Aisle 3, I mean.
This match will get red hot. Here goes.
Again, you guys can just, you know, once you've seen me do the fight once, you feel it's explained well enough, you can always just skip on to the next fight with the timestamps. But for the people that are struggling with this boss, I feel like it's useful to have this extra content in there for them. I would save your EXs, by the way, until the till this phase. That's one thing to note. Because it's nice to have. It makes this phase go quicker, so you don't have to deal with the little flames. But you can also save some cards for the last phase if that one's giving you more trouble. Just basically whichever phase gives you more trouble, use the EXs on that phase. Yeah, see, you can get hit like that. It's not a foolproof strategy to jump an EX, but it does usually work pretty well. Especially if you can make it here with 3 HP or 2 HP, you'll probably be fine. Nothing too bad. Alright. That was actually a pretty fast time for using those strats there. If you guys are curious to see, like, optimal times or anything, you can watch my run. I have the world record currently at 29:23. Or I actually recommend really following SBD Wolf in chat, which I'll put his link to watch if you want to watch, like, top runners play this category. He's just started doing this route yesterday, and he's already beast moding it. So yeah, either mine or his streams. I know there's some other runners that are pretty high level doing this route too. Like Jason has been doing it, and Calvin, but I think he's mainly focused on Legacy. Anyways, there's lots of people to follow. Just join the Cuphead Discord, and you'll meet lots of cool people that will be more than willing to help you out, or people that you can watch to learn from. All right, so Aisle 3. Honeybottoms. Now, I'm going to show 2 ways through this fight. I'll show the way I recommend, but then I'll show a backup way if you're really struggling. So first off, this is the way I recommend.
A great slam and then some.
All right, just dash over this platform, jump over the bee, and get right here. Then you can kind of chase this guy with spread, and you'll eventually kill him. You can use the EX on him too if you want, like a lobber EX. Or, you know, you can kind of kite him. All right, now this is important. Honeybottoms has 3 attacks. She can use triangles, spheres, or she can go in the middle and shoot bullets. Since I see her in the middle, I'll know she's going to shoot bullets. So you're going to know that attack's coming at you. If she's on the left or right, it could be either orbs or triangles. And how the fight works is, like, it starts on one attack, and then it just rotates through until you've done enough damage, and she, like, starts transitioning into the plane phase, the last phase, which all of you guys probably remember is a nightmare. But, like, basically, if you think of it as this attack being the first one, so, like, bullets first, she's always going to do orbs next. After orbs, she's always going to do triangles, and then it just repeats. So, like, if she starts triangles first, she's going to do this attack next. She does this attack first, she's going to do orbs next, and if she does orbs first, she's going to do triangles next. And it just literally repeats like in a wheel. Like, that's how the patterns work for this boss. So for this, you just want to stay near the top of the screen and just kind of shoot her like this. You can angle upright to get more bullets. The platforms troll you, you know, don't be afraid to just sit around here and dodge. Just kind of deal some damage to her. You'll see here you get triangles. You can just fire off a bunch of EXs if you want. Calva swap them if you're comfortable with that. Like that. Kind of dodge around that stuff so it doesn't troll you too bad. The platforms here are random, so don't feel bad if you have a struggle with this fight. This is another fight like Grim, where you're dealing with randomized platforms, so you can get trolled really hard, and you just need to practice the fight a lot to get used to it. I'll be showing all the attacks with this weapon, and then I'm going to show you a really beginner-friendly strat if you're really struggling hard. All right. So I'll show this one more time, and I'll make sure she goes through all the attacks. Okay, so do this. Up over there. You can shoot an EX here if you want. But, you know, don't be afraid to dodge, because, like, sometimes you can get hit like I just did there. Okay, she's doing middle first again. I'm going to make sure she gets through all the attacks, though. Yeah, you can kind of dodge these. You can shoot her head, too. It's generally better to shoot the upper part of her, but it's good to know how to do that. So I could kill her here, or like send her into the next phase, but I'll just wait. Just to show you all the other attack. See, these things just follow you. They kind of appear more towards the center of the screen and just follow you. See, now she'll do triangles, and she just rotates through these attacks indefinitely. It's random which one she starts on, though. That attack's a little bit weird to get used to how to dodge it. If it helps, you can parry those little triangles that come out. But yeah, you can see she just rotates through those attacks. I'll show the last phase too, because sometimes you will end up having to deal with the last phase. Yeah, so once you've done enough damage, she starts transitioning to this book phase. Sometimes you'll kill her here. Hopefully you'll kill her here. But if you don't, you'll have to deal with this phase. Now, what I do is I just aim up and lob her in the middle as she comes out. And then you can kind of get to the sides and dodge these and just keep shooting her from over here. It's kind of a nightmare phase, so hopefully it doesn't last long. Okay. You have to run away from that attack, and then you can finish her off. You can also shoot EXs down at her. You see I had 5 cards. You know, don't be afraid to just fire off all your EXs. Like, it's actually better that way. But generally, like, if your damage is good, you won't have to deal with that phase very often. If you get middle first and you start getting really good at the fight, you can actually trigger her into the final phase before you get the orbs. If that happens, you either have to deal with the last phase or you have to be aware of it and just kind of slow your DPS a little bit. That's only if you get her in middle first and you start getting really good damage. But if that ever happens to you, you'll know why. But you probably won't even have to worry about it, to be honest. All right, here's just a quick alternate strat. I'm just gonna run through this one time. If the police bee is giving you trouble, switch to pea shooter for this fight. Jump dash left, and then you can just shoot him from here. You switch to spread when he gets close. You will have to get out of the corner if he puts that thing right on top of you. But he won't hit you over there in the leftmost side of the screen, so. And then the rest of the fight's pretty much the same. Just use spread. If you have to dodge, you can run away and use that. Use pea shooter. It's kind of dodge stuff. Yeah. Do some Calva swaps if you're comfortable with that. Calva swaps are always good. Pretty much always good. So if you're good at them, just do them as much as you can. Even if you're not good at them, it's always good to try for it. And then hopefully you kill her during this phase so you don't have to deal with that terrible last phase. Yeah. If you do use pea shooter, you can actually shoot an EX straight down and deal bonus damage, but honestly, I would just use lobber. That's just a really beginner-friendly backup strat if this fight's killing you all the time when you're using lobber. Because the range on pea shooter does give you some good backups. All right. Now's on to Dr. Kahl. I'm going to show something first before I show the actual strategy. Calva swaps are included because they're easy to do, and Luigi swaps are a frame-perfect move that only me and SPD Wolf currently use. I think we're the only two runners who actually use them because they're exceptionally hard. They will be included in the advanced tutorial. All right, so the most important thing to notice, remember how it was like, Mini Bomb is going to be really good. This is the spot where Mini Bomb is freaking amazing. So, like, if you position yourself, I'll show you here. You can see I'm actually hitting both of them. Okay, I'm getting hit by Kahl because I'm trying to show this, but I'm actually hitting both pieces at the same time.
This match will get red.
Okay, let me show that again.
Now go.
That mini bomb is hitting both parts. And this is how we're going to get a really great quick kill on this guy. So, I'm going to show the strat. I'm not going to pause too much. I'm just going to run through it because it'll be confusing if I pause on this fight. But basically, just hold shoot. Go up to this part first. Mini Blade and switch to Mini Bomb. Parry that if it comes out. Go up here, Mini Bomb this thing till it's dead. Then come back. You can dodge that if you want, if it's really scaring you. Shoot, always kill those things. Always parry this thing. Yeah, shoot those bombs as they come out. And just shoot the heart. I'm gonna go through that like two more times because this, you need to get this down. Go up here. You can actually just switch to Mini Bomb right away if you want. Get into this spot, Mini Bomb, parry. A couple more bombs up there. Dodge that once you have to. And just start firing away. This will make this, like once you get used to this strat, this will make this first phase so much easier because you hardly have to deal with very much of anything. All right, one more time. Because again, this strat is, yeah. Basically, you just wait till that thing's about to shoot you, then you get out of the way. You can even switch to mini bombs right away like I just did there. And then just come up here and finish it off. Yeah. It'll take a bit to get that down, but once you get it down, that'll make this first phase so much easier. Then you just get here, right when he's about to hit you, use your super, which you should have. Make sure you have a super there. Like, you don't want to waste your EXs in the other phase. This is just bullet hell. That's all this is. Like, there's no speedrun, like, way to just magically dodge this stuff. You just actually have to dodge it, like if you were playing the fight casually. You could parry those if you want, the pink ones. Hopefully you have a lot of HP. You know, just dodge it, you know. When he gives you an opening, you can come over here and super him if you have the 5 cards. That saves you some time. Yeah. Yeah, that just takes practice. Like, there's nothing really special to explain on that. Basically, just, like I said, just super him. And, yeah. I'll run through the fight one more time. And then we'll move on. So I don't really think there's too much else to explain. But the first phase is the one where I really recommend learning this strat.
A brawl is surely brewing.
Just get up here. Yeah, I just switch straight away into mini bombs. Move out of the way, get into the sweet spot. Come back up, finish him off. Back down. Look how it's just like it deals with this phase so quickly. This can kind of get trolly. That's kind of hard to dodge, but you'll get used to it eventually. Okay. It's also really important to super him when he comes at you like that. You want to do it right before he hits you, or else you won't deal enough damage on that second phase. If you're feeling sassy, you can kind of go in before he switches attacks and do a super, but a lot of times it'll blow up before you reach him, and supers do the most damage when they hit directly on the boss. If they blow up near a boss, they still hurt him, but not as much. But yeah, that phase, like, yeah, just get good at dodging. Get good. No, for real though, like, it's not that bad. It's the same kind of patterns, and you eventually get good at dodging them. It just takes practice. It's kind of like Grim and stuff. You just have to do it a few times, and then you'll get it down better. All right, take a drink of water, and we'll do Sally. All right, just shoot her with lobber a couple times and get up to use spread on her. And then she'll usually just jump over you. If she jumps straight up, that means she's going to throw a fan at you. Just kind of get out of the way. But you can just hold lock and just kind of follow her with your bullets if she jumps over you. If she does that, you can put some lobbers and get ready to dodge. There she actually just transitioned. All right, just position yourself like a little left of the center of the screen. When she first comes out here, it's important to note she's actually invulnerable, so don't just start shooting EXs at her right away. Like, look at her HP. See how she's wasn't taking any damage? Now is when she starts taking damage. Like, once she's kind of done with her entry, that's when she starts taking damage, and you basically just want to fire a bunch of lobber EXs at her. So I'll show that one more time. Because I also missed an attack on this first phase that she can do. See, a lot of times you don't have to move much unless she jumps straight up. Here you might have to dodge. You can kind of react to her or just dash out of the way. Alright, so again, a little left of the center of the screen. And once she's kind of done with doing that entry, you can shoot some lobbers at her. That'll help you this phase go a lot faster. Kind of dodge the cars. There's kind of a lot going on. She'll die pretty quick if those lobbers were to get positioned. As that phase is coming in, just basically spread her when she comes down. You could do like I did and set up a lobber trap as she comes down, but you're not always going to have time to do that, so basically just spread her when she gets here. If you have 3 HP, just tank through this big wave. And just kind of jump up and do that, yeah. Switch to lobber here. And just, like, follow her around and do a bunch of EXs. And then that phase won't last very long as you have a bunch of cards there. It won't be too bad. I'll play through the fight one more time, because it takes a bit to get this fight down. If you're down to, like, 1 HP, or even 2 HP, and you don't want to take that damage boost that I did through the big wave, you can just run over and kill the meteor, and like a parryable star comes out. You all probably know that, though, if you've already played the game. And you could kind of just do that the normal way. It's not a big deal. Or if it's lightning, you could just dodge the lightning if you want. But if you have 3 HP, I definitely recommend going for the damage boost. Yeah, you could sometimes get hit there. But, yeah, usually you'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, get right around here. Wait till she's done with her animation, and then go for it. Sometimes she'll jump at you like that, so doing the cars, just dodge. It's kind of like her phase 1. You know, don't be afraid to jump back, dodge the cars. Once these cars on the top of the screen, they get above you, they kind of come down, so you can kind of bait them, get them out of the way. You spread on her. Just tank through this. If you're feeling really sassy, you can jump up and use a spread EX, but you don't have to do that. All right, lobber trap right here. EX, EX. Now, if you end up with a really long phase, don't be afraid to just dodge and use spread. You know? Like, I'm kind of just showing you. It's not that bad. But if you just chase her around EX her a bunch of times, you'll probably be fine. Yeah, they fixed the off-screen exploit. Although if you have pea shooter, you can hit an off-screen hitbox, but this is for the lobber route, so it's not relevant. All right. I have apparently an important phone call to make, so I'm gonna take a brief break. I will be timestamping these bosses, so you guys can skip past these small AFK periods when you're watching back. For the people live, though, I will be right back, and we'll get right into Werman. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Really didn't. I wish there was no interruptions during this, but it wasn't too long, and this will all be time-stamped on the tutorial, so the people rewatching will be able to just skip through. Hopefully this is pretty good so far. Sorry if there's a little bit of internet issues. It seems like it's been pretty smooth, though, for the most part, so that's good. All right, let's get into Werman. Werman's super simple. This is going to be an easy one. It's one of the it's like kind of a break. You kind of have to get used to the fight, but yeah, you could kind of just stand back, lobber him, just dodge these things. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Just dodge over that stuff. Yeah. Nothing too bad. Once he comes in close, shoot a bunch of these EXs down. Just dodge this. You can use the spread gun here. The dodging here can be a little bit, test your skill a little bit, and you might just get hit, and it's okay. Once the cat comes out, just hit him with a bunch of spread EXs. Because you can safely go inside the cat's hitbox, your spread EX actually... all the bullets hit him, which does a lot of damage. And then he'll go down really quick before you have to deal with him. I'll play through the fight one more time, because there was also one attack there that I didn't get. And I also want to show you a different kind of dodge, a more advanced dodge that you can do on phase 2. It's optional, but it will speed the fight up a little bit for you. And it really looks really cool. It's the same principle as the one in Cagney for the people that watch that one. Basically making use of the Cala swaps.
A brawl is surely brewing. And
All right.
begin.
Yeah, just kind of dodge these things. It's not too bad at all. This is going to be a pretty easy fight, I think, for most people. Phase 2 is probably the one that'll give you the most trouble. For this attack, you can either use the parryables on the ground to get over it, or you can do kind of a cool technique that runner named Dash came up with, where you just jump over him and use a spread EX. It's kind of cool. That looks like this. All the spread EX bullets actually hit him, but if you don't do, if they don't all hit him, it's okay. But yeah, shoot a couple lobbers at the ground near him for those 2x damage lobbers that we've been doing. And here, I'll show the more advanced dodge. When he's about to use his flames here, just jump over him and do a Cala swap like that. So I'll show it one more time. Yeah. It's a little bit of a tight timing. Once you get it down, though, it's really consistent. That's, again, optional. You can just kind of dodge him normally. You can run away from that cat paw. These guys just, you can just dodge everything. Really, though, this cat will die generally before you have to deal with too much of his stuff. That's not a bad fight at all. I don't think people will have too much trouble. All right, so we're not too far off from the end of the beginner intermediate guide, so hope you all have been enjoying it so far. For the people watching live, I apologize for not responding. Just making sure that I don't have too much filler conversation while trying to do this tutorial. All right, Brineybeard. Now, Briney, switch to pea shooter. Don't even attempt this fight with lobber. This will be in the advanced strategy guide, how to fight this guy with lobber. I'll show you why you don't fight him with lobber. Actually, let me show why, because it's good that I don't just tell people stuff.
This match will get red hot.
Like,
Now go.
try hitting Briney with this weapon. Okay, we're kind of hitting him. Okay, so this is obviously terrible. Right? So, you basically have to play him. If you're going to do it with lobber, you have to play up close the whole time, and you're just going to get killed. It's really bad. So switch to pea shooter.
Here's a real high-class bout.
Kind of just dash over here with pea shooter, and use the spread gun. When he starts using the gun, just run away. He'll shoot 4 bullets. He'll always do gun first and shoot 4 bullets. After that, it's random what attack you're going to get. That barrel, once it gets above you, it'll drop down on you. Because you all probably knew that already. For the dogs, just get back. You kind of angle up and right here. And jump over them. When you get an opening, though, don't be afraid to use the spread gun. Although that can happen to you. Where he kind of does the gun just kind of glitches into his hand. And, yeah. But yeah, don't be afraid to dodge stuff. I'm actually slowing DPS so I can show you all the attacks. When it's shark, just stay over here and just keep doing spread. The shark will never hit you if you stay over there. He's like the easiest. The shark and the squid are the easiest attacks. You can just kind of practice getting used to dodging the fights while sticking around in this position. Dodging his different attacks. Because this fight's pretty difficult. Well, if we'll ever do squid, I'll show you the other attack. Yeah, if it's squid, you just treat it the same way as shark. Just stay over here. Like, you can get this stuff on you, the ink, and it's harder to see, but really it's not a big deal. For the last phase, you can play it back here. But it's honestly not that easy. Just, you could play it like how you did casually. You can duck under this thing or parry above it. EXs are really nice to have here. That's why I generally like to go into that if you have 4 or 5 cards saved up, so you can just EX that guy a bunch. That's really nice. Now I'll show the fight kind of right normally. There I just wanted to show off all the attacks. But I want to show you how to get the quick kill at the end, which is kind of a cool thing. This is actually a really good thing to test if you're doing Cala swaps right. Because if you're able to quick kill this final phase before he ever closes his mouth, then it basically means that you're doing Cala swaps. Because it's like really near impossible to do it without Cala swaps. Yeah, you can parry the laser beam. So I'll play through this fight 2 more times. So this is what the fight would look like if you're playing it normally. Okay, he gets the gun, get away, shoot him, puts the gun away, go back up and spread again. He does a random attack. Bait this barrel when it gets close to you. Or you can just dodge it to the left if you get really scared. Yeah, this is a really easy pattern. Just be aware that this guy's good at shooting cannonballs at you. You bait him. All right, now here's the quick kill. Basically what you want to do is, well, I'll just show it to you. Like, it's better just to see it. But just know that I'm doing Cala swaps every time I do an EX. So you time it so that you basically just jump EX, jump EX, jump EX with Cala swaps. And you will kill him before he ever closes his mouth. Generally what I do is, like, once he's damageable, I do like a little mini hop once I see that I'm damaging him. And then I just start it. Like, jump EX, jump EX, jump EX. And if you have 5 cards, you'll get that quick kill pretty consistently. I'll do the fight one more time and show you what it looks like to parry the beam if you prefer that strategy. And there's also one other kind of neat thing that you can do. I'll show both of those for the last phase. And just do the fight again, because I got really easy RNG that time. Like I said, Shark and Squid make for really easy brinies. But when you get a gun more, you have to actually dodge more. And yeah, it slows you down a bit. Usually you get some extra attacks. Also, you can use the 1 EX here if you want. You still have 5 cards for the last phase. Once Briney reaches a certain damage threshold, he stops taking damage. You can see how he's at 260 right now, using the debug mod, the HP bar in the top left. Like, once he's kind of reached that point, he stops taking damage. The one problem with that, like, you don't want to use the X's, like, right here, for example. Like, when you see he's transitioning, because he's not taking damage. That's probably the most important thing about that. There's actually ways to tell once you've reached that damage threshold, even without having this mod that gives me an HP tracker. But I don't really think it's that important to know. All right, so I'm going to show some different ways of dealing with this beam. Can you actually duck under these in here? Oh yeah, you can duck under those if you really are scared. So as long as you're holding crouch, you can actually dash under this thing. If you ever let go of down, though, you will get hit by that beam when you dash. You duck under these normally? Wow, I didn't even know you could do that. So here's what parrying the beam looks like. But I prefer just getting close to him and crouching. And you can actually hit him, like, with this. Like, I'll show you. Like that. See, some of the bullets are hitting them. And then you could kind of just finish them off. But I just wanted to show different ways of dealing with that attack. You can just use what works for you. If I have to deal with the beam, I kind of just get close to him and crouch like you saw. And if the barrel's going to fall on me, I just continue holding crouch and I dash to the left. And that'll dodge the barrel if he's about to fall on you during that. All right, well, next we'll move on to Cala Maria. So yeah, just head up through here. This is the last plane level we'll be doing outside of the King Dice mini-boss. This boss, generally I've heard most people say it was the hardest for them casually, but I'm going to show you lots of sweet speedrunner tech that makes this fight way easier once you get used to it. It's still a hard fight, but this will help you like so much. So, yeah. This will save you a lot of pain to learn these strats. I definitely recommend learning
A
them.
brawl is surely brewing.
So basically, she's just has a million different attacks that she can do. She kind of combos them together like now. For the ghosts, you just want to stay back and use the mini plane to dodge them. I kind of got hit there, but I'll be going through the fight a few times. The red fish shoots out these things. You can actually parry some if you want. Once you get a super, just hit her with it as soon as you can. Parry stuff when you can. Alright, you can get back here. And then get up to this spot. This spot will avoid getting turned to stone the first time. If you have a super here, an alternative is to use the super, and after you hit her with it, like I said, you're invincible for a bit, so you won't get turned to stone either. If you have a super here, you can also use it to kill all the eels. If you don't, like I do, you're actually going to have to dodge, which can get really trolly. Yeah, you can just super her once you get one. Now, this is the part that you're going to have a little bit of difficult time learning, but for this phase, if you stay close to her head, her stone thing won't hit you, and that little green skeleton guy won't hit you. What's important to know about this phase is to look at the rightmost side of the screen. Like your eyes, once you get close to her, your eyes should only be looking... Let me see where my pointer's at. Your eyes should only be looking, like, right here. Like, right along the back edge. And when you see a plat thing, one of those spiked pillar things, you just need to dodge it. See, there's one. And then you'll never get hit by anything. You never need to move left or right once you're in this position. You can also mini plane to dodge if you get really scared, and you can use EXs or super there on that phase, like if you want. It does do more damage, so feel free to do that. I'll show the fight a few more times. She has a lot of different attacks she can give you, a lot of different combinations of attacks. You're kind of just going to have to play through the fight yourself and get used to dodging everything. But yeah, that last phase especially, learning to get kind of close to her like that is really important. You don't have to be like as close as possible, but as long as you're really close to her face, you won't get hit by all that stuff. Also, that quick mini bomb thing I showed you at the start, don't be afraid to ever use that on any of these plane levels. Parry this stuff. And hit her with a super. Don't get trolled by that fish. He can actually jump and hit you if you're down low. This is kind of like, these are the kind of combos that you're just going to take practice to dodge. But generally, you bait the ghosts at you, and then you mini plane and kind of just dodge the best you can. Okay, she's transitioning. Get back here. Move in. Head up. Here, I think I'll be able to get a super in time, maybe. Yeah. And then you can just hit her with the super. And then you see you don't get turned to stone either. Kind of stay close, like that. Oh, her body, you see how her body turns to stone and floats into the sea? That can actually hurt you. So that's something to be aware of. I used to get hit, and I was like, what is hitting me? Her freaking body that detaches from her can still hurt you. So that's important to know. But again, just only look at the rightmost side of the screen. That's the only place your eyes should be at. See, there I wasn't paying attention because I looked at chat. Don't do that. Don't read chat if you're streaming during a boss fight. That's pro tip number 1. Don't read chat during Cala Maria. All right. I'll do her one more time because I haven't got to show the electric eel attack yet. That's the only attack I think she hasn't done yet. Yeah, I don't follow my own advice. but trust me, it's good advice. All right. Okay, electric heal? Yeah. So this guy, just get him to circle around you like this. And then he'll just leave. Like, he's pretty easy. This is kind of one of the nightmare patterns. You just have to practice. See, like, some of these patterns, like, I'm hardly moving. It's not that bad. Get back here. Go in. Head up. You get a super, that's great. If not, back up. Oh, I did it too early. If you take damage, it's okay. Because you'll most likely never get hit on this last phase. You can actually use a super on this, too, if you have it. Just to kind of help you get into position. See, there's a little bit of leeway around here. Like, see, I backed up a little bit, and I'm still not getting hit. I can get a little closer. Like, you have room to breathe. But once you get into the spot, you don't need to worry about moving left or right anymore. Just only worry about up and down and dodging those platforms, because they're the only things that can hit you. Yeah, I don't think you can soft lock on this. If you could, it would be very specific. That's more of a legacy thing. All right. This boss. Now, if you've made it this far in the speedrun, that is freaking awesome. Like, I just want more people to speedrun this game because it's in this category because it's really fun. This boss is going to give you some trouble. This boss gives everyone trouble. Don't feel bad if it gives you trouble too, but I'm going to show you some stuff. Some basic strats. I'm going to show you multiple strats that you can use. So switch back to lobber. Or leave it on pea shooter, because I'm going to show you a pea shooter version of this fight too. But I'm going to do lobber first. And it's just a tough fight. But I'll guide you through it. So first off, you just want to get to the edge of this platform and shoot lobbers.
Here goes.
When he starts using eyeballs, switch to spread till all the eyeballs are dead, and then switch back to lobber. When these pumpkins on the first phase always target the right wheel, and if the brick lands on it, it moves the platform forward. So basically, the pumpkins try to troll you and move you into the boss. So what you want to do to deal with that is just parry them as they fall down on you. That can take a little bit of getting used to, but it's good to get better at parries if you're learning to speedrun the game. So you'll see he's going to drop it on me. I just do that. He can come from the right or left, and then he just alternates. But yeah, once he's dead, move into the middle. When this guy's coming out at you, there's always going to be a pumpkin before the skeleton. Just kind of jump up here and kill him. And then shoot this guy. Now, there's going to be another pumpkin that comes out. You could try to deal with him your own way. Or what I like to do is, as soon as you see him, just push your EX. And your spread shot will actually go up and kill him. Unless he blocks you. But normally that doesn't happen. But that can happen too. If it happens like that, that means you could just parry it like I did. It's not too much of a problem. Do the tiniest hops possible while holding spread and just hit that guy. You can use lobber too, actually. It's not too bad. Just parry these, kill them and parry them. Yeah. I'm gonna redo this so that I can show you the strat I was trying to talk about. But basically just parry the pumpkins when they're being a problem. But the strat I was doing is spread EX will help you out on this some. So you don't get trolled with the brick moving the platform when you don't want it to. Yeah, just deal with these guys. Get into the middle. Deal with him. Little baby hops. Spread EX when you see that guy coming out. You can do Calva swaps here and get a 2-cycle. Like little mini hop Calva swap, and you'll kill him when he only pops his head out 2 times. That's kind of cool. Leave the card on the right here. And then just jump up into this guy. When he drops his head, you can use the spread EXs on him. I'd only use a max of 2. Then when this guy's done doing his lightning, get over here and do the same thing to him. You'll hopefully kill him before he does the lightning the second time. If he is going to do the lightning the second time, you can kind of just dodge. For this last phase, you have 2 options. You can leave the card on the left or the middle. I find leaving on the left the safest. Just wait till this wheel comes down and then activate this. Oh my god. Yeah. See, this is better than what it'll look like when you're practicing this. Yeah. And just use spread shot. It's okay if you get hit. Yeah, that was kind of a really bad display. But that'll show you that, like, even with the worst disaster ever, where you're missing every bullet, and you get hit 50 times, you can still get through the fight. So, yeah. I'll go through the fight again and try to demonstrate that a little bit better. And then I'll show the pea-shooter version. You'll just have to kind of watch through this part of the tutorial a few times and pick up things I say and practice it for yourself. But the most important, like, switch spread shot on these eyeballs, back to lobber, back to spread, parry this thing. It's like a lot of mental multitasking on this fight. But eventually you get used to it, because at least you don't have to move left or right, you know? So you're just focusing on that other stuff. Kill this dude. Hit this guy a bunch. Deal with that guy. With the EX or with that. You can even use lobber here and just push EX a bunch. If he trolls you like that, don't worry about it. If you do the Calva swaps, though, you'll just, like, straight up kill him. You can also set a lobber trap up here if you have time. You don't even have to use 2 EXs there. You only have to use 1 and you'll be fine. Sometimes the other guy will do lightning first, though, so you can kind of do that so that it's not a problem. If you're comfortable doing Calva swaps, then I recommend moving the cart to the middle instead and just using spread shot and a bunch of Calva swaps. You can move the card over. And yeah, you can actually kill him before he closes at 1 time, or get him really close to that. So yeah, if you do know how to do Calva swaps and you're feeling a little bold, you can go for that strat. I'm going to go through it one more time, though, showing showing something else you can do to help you with a 2-cycle on the skeleton. By 2-cycle, I mean, like, he only pops his head up twice. And, yeah, then I'll show you the pea-shooter one. I was going to just do one more time there, but this fight is so tough that it's worth me going through it a few times. Yeah, this is an amazing game. I have so many hours in this game, and the reason I started speedrunning it is just because I wanted to play the game more. And that's a great, really fun way to do that. Okay. You can even set up a lobber trap there if you're feeling sassy. See, that thing was going to troll me. That can happen. You can also just stay on lobber and spam EXs too. And it's not too bad. You'll just have to play this fight, some to get used to it. It's a really hard fight. Set up the lobber trap if you want. It's good bonus damage. See, he'll die before he does lightning. You can actually get over to this guy. If you stay on the side, the lightning won't hit you. That's important to know. Throw some lobbers over there if you're feeling sassy. Alright. I'm gonna show the easier strat on this again. I just wait until the wheel is dealt with, and then parry this thing. Use lobber EXs if you're feeling up to it. You gotta be kind of watch for the flames. This is the phase that's gonna troll you the most with lobber. You know? You can kind of stay kind of low and just do mini hops. That gives you more time to react to the flames. And you could still get a reasonably safe 2-cycle. But yeah, don't be afraid just to stay low with spread and just do mini hops. Like, you don't have to do full jumps. Full jumps does more damage, but it gives you less time to react to the flames falling on you. And if you can do Cala swaps, go for them 100%. That'll make that guy die so much quicker. All right, so an alternate strat is, remember how we switched to Pea Shooter on Briney? Just leave it on Pea Shooter and play him like this. Some people find this easier, some people don't. So you can try both methods and see what works for you. Basically, the strategy stays the same, though, with a couple minor changes if you're using Pea Shooter. See, like, I'm basically doing the same thing. Spreading down the eyeballs. Pushing to Pea Shooter otherwise. One important thing to notice, when he starts dying there, he's invulnerable from that point on. All the phases in this fight work like that. Once you see them dying, they're no longer taking damage. You can, however, generate cards on them. Except for that guy. For some reason, even when he's dying, you can't generate cards on him, but you can on the skeleton. But that's not important information. That's the nice thing about Pea Shooter. When you see those pumpkins, you can snipe them. So just look for the pumpkins and snipe that guy. You don't have to deal with them. Sometimes they'll troll you like this, though. You can also, remember, you can shoot a bunch of EXs. You get hit, it's okay. Take this guy out once you can. You don't have to parry that. You can let him move the cart. It's like once he's already dead, it's not a big deal. This phase is a little different. You kind of do the same thing with spread. But you can also shoot this guy. And shoot EXs at him, too. So whichever way, you know, feels more comfortable for you. If you're using Pea Shooter, don't do that thing where I showed you staying in the middle. Like, just stay on the left with the cart, for sure. And you can actually activate it right away with Pea Shooter. It's safer. You can kind of just fire some EXs. When he gets close, you can use spread. Or stay low and use Pea Shooter. So you can kind of shoot him all the way from back here. It's a little safer. Some people find it just as hard or harder, though. Because you have to worry about aiming. But, yeah. That's an alternate way to do that fight. If you're struggling with it with lobber, you might try that and see if it's any better for you. Again, these are just like ways to get through the fights. I'm gonna play it. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time with lobber just to show that you can get a relatively fast time, even with these safety strats, as long as you learn Cala swaps. Which at this point of the game, hopefully you've been practicing Cala swaps some, like, because this is near the end. So I want to show you that, like, because that was a pretty slow time, you know, but don't feel bad if you do get slow times at first. I'm just showing you ways to, you know, beat the fight. Okay. You can also set up a lobber trap here. Yeah. See, this will show you what it's like when you kind of troll. Yeah, you can get the 2 cycles. See, I even messed up there, got trolled. You can still get it once you get used to your DPS. Just parry all the bricks. Set up a lobber trap. You only have to do 1 on that guy. But you can do 2 if you get hit by his lightning. Alright. Well, I'm probably going to die in the last phase. Yeah, I'm, as you can see, this fight can go pretty horribly wrong. I'm also doing strategies I'm not really used to, just, but yeah. You can wait for this guy. Try to parry that, hopefully. Do mini hops if you're low on HP to stay safe. And yeah, see? It's not bad. If you do the mini hops, that's actually the thing I discovered will save you so much when you're using lobber spread versus that guy. See, that was already a 120. That was a big improvement over the other time. And that was with lots of mistakes. Like, I was getting hit by stuff. You know, there was a lot of sketchy things going on. So you could see, like, you know, you can get a reasonable time on that fight. But most importantly, I would just learn how to kill it without dying at first. Because that guy will kill a lot of speedrunners. And if you want to learn to optimize any of these fights, like really good times, I'll be doing an advanced tutorial too for all of you guys. All right, King Dice. So we've made it this far. We're almost to the devil. I'm going to go over every boss and why you should or shouldn't do it. Make sure you have lobber on. I mean, if for some reason you feel more comfortable with pea shooter, don't, you know, just go for pea shooter. But really, I think lobber helps. Just spam A through this text. Alright, so 1, don't do 1. If for some reason, that's kind of a silly thing, by the way, if you roll as quickly, as soon as he claps his hands, you always get a 1. But yeah. All the other rolls are random. This is just kind of a nightmare. You kind of have to watch for that guy in the back. When he does his attack, something's going to come from the top. She summons those little things. He dumps that on you. Like, there's just a lot going on in this fight. Oh yeah, I'll explain the hearts after this. It's also kind of annoying to hit this guy in the back, because she kind of blocks your shot, so you have to get close and spread. You can see this fight's kind of a nightmare. If for some reason you like that fight, though, you can go for it. Ideally, you only want to fight 3 mini-bosses before King Dice. But yeah, you see the hearts on the board? Basically, there's always 3 hearts, and 1 in each section of 3, that a heart just randomly appears on. If you land on that space, you get a bonus heart. So if you have a boss that you like, you're like, okay, I can do that boss, and there's a heart on it, you know, you can just go for it. With the dice rolls, one really important thing to learn is how to roll the number that you want. So like right now I'm showing you guys all the bosses, so I want to roll a 1. So how I time it is when I see the 1, I know it's going to do 2 more spins, and then I double tap jump as soon as I can. So like 1, and then I rolled the wrong number. I was thinking too much about it. So yeah, you'll have to practice this. Let me try to show this again. All right, so there's the 1, and then you do that. You just have to practice it. Like, you can just keep doing this. Like, pick a number that you want, and just keep retrying it and trying to get that number. So like right now, I'll say 2. So I see the 2, I know it's gonna spin a couple more times, and then I double tap jump. Yeah, also, if you parry him as quickly as, like, some people think that, like, oh, I want to get the 2 on the first spin. So I'm gonna, like, do this, and, oh, there's the 2! And think they save time, but you don't actually save time doing that. Like, the reason being is because King Dice, he goes through, like, a long animation anyways, and it ends up timing out to be the same. The only time you lose time on the dice roll, generally, is if you let it spin a whole bunch of times. So the strat I showed you where you like, okay, I want to look at 2. There's 2. Okay, I'm going to do my jump. You do not lose time going for that. Even if it spends an additional time, you don't really lose hardly any time at all either.
Good day for a 12
if you're using pea shooter, this is a good boss to do, but with lobber, this boss is horrible. Look, your shot doesn't even reach him. Spread all the bullets get like blocked. You have to basically do this, and it's just terrible. So just avoid this guy. If you get him though, you can kind of get close to him like this and do spread, but it's just This is really bad. Basically, just reset if you roll this guy. Because it's an early boss. So if you accidentally roll 2, literally just reset. At least 1, you could actually beat him within a reasonable amount of time. But it's just bad. Yeah, even with the 2 dash from the start thing, it basically, like, only helps you a tiny bit. Basically, just avoid that boss. Alright, 3 is the one you want. On the first set, you want to skip 1 and 2, and you want to get the 3. So let me start that over, and I'll just roll a 3. Because this is what you want to do. Like, start the fight, roll a 3. Like, get good at rolling that 3. And, this is the boss you want with lobber. I'll show you 2 ways of doing this fight. Here's the way I do. You remember those mini steps that I taught you about earlier? The tiny steps in the tech section? You can always reference that, the tech part of the tutorial, which was at the start of it. But essentially what I do is I look at this flame. See when it gets right there? These flames always go the exact same path. So I know I can move a little bit closer and I still won't get hit by that flame. And that's actually what we want to do. So I take a couple tiny steps. There I actually moved a little too close. You'll just have to get used to that. And then the other flame won't hit me. I'll show that again on this side. You could kind of just dash over here if you don't feel safe. Yeah, I use that flame to line me up. So I know I can get closer. Also, it's important. You notice how I'm like hitting him? It's because the shots actually go into the fire and bounce back up and hit him. See how that lobber shot, like I'm shooting them straight forward, but it's actually hitting him right here. It's because like the shot is going through here, hitting here, and bouncing up and hitting him. So you can literally just shoot the shot straight forward, even though it looks like it doesn't reach him. It like 100% totally does reach him. I'll show the quick way to do this strat after. I just wanted to show you how to deal with these flames. So see, this spot is literally like, you won't get hit. If you get as close as you can to that one, where that one flame goes, you won't get hit by the other one when it comes around. The other option is to do this, where you just kind of stay in the middle. And when he shoots a flame, you just kind of move in and dodge it. I'll show you that. There's some other ways to do it, and you can see other runners handle it different ways, but I think the first way is the best. But you can do this. Like, just kind of practice dodging them, you know? It's not too bad at all. Yeah, you can do that. Like this. And just hold shoot down the whole time, of course. And a bunch of your shots will hit him. Like, see, even back here, the shots are still bouncing up and hitting him, you can see. So, yeah. I'll show the quick strat now. I think that this is a really cool quick kill to learn. Even at a beginner level. It's not that complicated, and you can totally do this. It does involve a damage boost, though. So basically, you start off getting in that sweet spot. Just kind of move forward a little bit. Take some tiny steps. As soon as he does that, set up a lobber trap and get hit by him. Then dash into the left corner and use spread. As soon as you get 3 cards, switch to lobber and spam EXs down. You'll have 3 cards, spam all 3 of those into the ground as soon as you get the 3rd card. That's the whole quick kill. Like, that goes by really fast. So I'll show it one more time. And then we'll move on to the future bosses. This is the only fight out of all these I'll be showing a quick kill on, because the other ones are pretty self-explanatory, just how to fight the boss. But this one's really worth learning the quick kill on. It works with all his patterns, too, if you do it right. So if you're afraid that that's going to hit you, you just dodge, set up the lobber trap. See, the reason you get hit there, the reason I do that, is because I'm kind of on the right side of him a bit, and he'll face that direction. Like, he faces whatever direction you are. So if you, like, preemptively go to this corner before he pops out, he actually will look at you and just keep hitting you. So it's like, it's really important that you take that damage boost and then switch to spread shot. Okay, once I get my 3rd card, I'm going to switch to lobber and spam EX. and then use spread again. So yeah, it's not too bad. If you can't learn the quick kill, though, just dodge the other side and just keep using lobber. Number 4 is what you generally use in the speedrun. So I'll roll straight to that. And this boss is kind of a nightmare, though. I know some people struggle on it. Your best friend with this fight is the lock button. Hold up and right, and then use the lock to keep you from moving forward. And using Kahl swaps, when you see like 2 sets of spikes, you can either jump over them normally, or you can do this. Like use an EX to kind of get over them. And just dodge that stuff. Use the lock button. If you have trouble, like if you still can't do Kahl swaps, I would recommend not even doing this boss unless you, for some reason, want to. The rabbit. Oh boy. If there's a hard on Rabbit and you, for some reason, enjoy Rabbit, you can do Rabbit. He's actually not that much slower. He's not that bad. He's still relatively fast. Just kind of stand up here and use lobber. Dodge this stuff. You can kind of duck and then dash through that. Parry this thing. There will always be a parryable somewhere there that helps you get through. You can shoot some EXs at him if you want. Yeah. He's not too bad. If the parry comes from there, just go below and then jump up into it and do a really quick parry to get through that attack. I don't really recommend Rabbit, but if there's a heart on that space, you can go for it. This is probably the boss I recommend you do. It's not bad at all. Basically, like, you just hold the shoot button, and if you see a, like, glowing blue guy down below, see that guy? Just go past him, because he'll come up and try and hit you. He's the only one that does that. See him down there? See how he hit me? You just need to move past him. So you kind of stay in the back, and when you see him go forward, you can also use a super on this guy if you have it. Or EXs, whatever you prefer. Because anytime you see that blue rider down below, he's going to come up and hit you as soon as he gets next to you. Yeah, you can just avoid that guy. I don't recommend doing 7, even if there's a heart there. This boss is kind of hard. Probably, when I played did this fight casually, I had smoke dash, but we don't have smoke dash. So it makes the fight considerably more difficult. Basically, just use lobber, dash over, and just keep doing this over and over. When she does this, get in the middle. You can shoot some EXs at her if you want. There's an opening here somewhere. See, there's the opening. Then you can get out. She's actually not too bad, but I don't know. You can do her if you can do that fight if you want. It's not that bad. But 8-ball is just so easy. Like I really recommend going for 8-ball. Even if there's not a hard on him. But that's up to you. You know, always experiment. Anything. I'm just giving you some good guidelines to start your runs off with, or to maybe help some other people out. Just use spread shot versus this guy. You can EX him if you want. Dodge that thing. You know, you can just go under that guy. Dodge that. Go under all these things. Like, you can see this is pretty easy. Nothing crazy happens in that fight. Number 9, just literally never... I mean, actually, this is the best fight. If you roll number 9, you will immediately save 10 hours of time. Because this fight is great. I mean, Legacy players do it, so it's got to be a good fight, right? Like, watch how fast this fight is. You get to play a memory game with the monkey. Look at this. Look how fun this is. You can tell how incredibly fast this fight is. Like, the speed is blistering. Oh, we got the wrong number. Oh, okay. All right. See, this is part of your memory training for speedrunning. Oh God. Yeah, you could tell this fight is really good. Yeah, it's a really good fight. Just amazingly fun fight. Incredibly quick. Yeah, it's such a good fight. So yeah, you can see why you don't do this fight. Never, ever, ever touch number 9. I don't care if there's a heart there. Like, just never do this fight. Never do this. Where was this thing? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. All right. I'm really wanting to demonstrate how absolutely terrible this fight is. It's so bad. Even if you match all the cards first time, you still lose like a minute on this fight. So yeah, just never do this fight. It's horrible. If you see legacy players do it and the monkey glitches off the edge of the screen, that glitch is fixed in current patch. Oh God. Now it's getting kind of embarrassing. Yeah, you can't do that glitch on current patch. So this fight becomes terrible. And you never want to do it. You can, like, super him and skip one of the matches, but, like, really, do not even worry about any tech on this fight. It's just so bad. It's horrible. Yeah, Monkey S. This is an emote made by Slice after this, representing this boss. Generally, you'll do 8, and then you'll roll to this safe place. And then as long as you don't roll a 1 here, you'll go to finish. If you roll a 2 or a 3, it'll take you to finish. So see there, I rolled a 3, it'll just take you to the end. For this guy, just use spread. Play the fight like normal. Just parry these. An important note about parries, if you're still struggling with your parries, is hit the parry preemptively. You don't have to time it so, like, tightly. Like, right as you hit the card. You don't have to do that. Like, you can see the parry animations, that pink thing around Cuphead. You can push it, like, quite a bit before, and you'll still get the parry. It's worth it to just practice this phase. It'll really help you with your parries if you're still struggling with them. But yeah, just hold spread shot. You can use a spread EX on him if you want. You can do Cala swaps if you want. And yeah. So I'm going to do King Dice one more time, but this time I'm just going to go through, like, a good route. Oh my gosh, I like how 6 minutes 32 is still considered a speed run by them. Because it's lit up yellow and we got a grade A rank. That's hilarious. We'll be beating him much quicker than 6 minutes. No, the monkey is horrible. Like, even if you do it really fast, it's still like a minute slow. Alright. So these are good hearts. This boss isn't that hard. It will take you a while to learn it because you have to learn all these mini bosses and how to do the dice rolls. But once you got that down, you're not going to have too much trouble in this fight. I don't know. Most likely. So tiny step into the right spot. Set up the lobber trap. Switch to spread. Dash over here. Or you can dash over there then switch to spread however you feel comfortable. Switch to lobber. Spam EXs down. Again, I'm pointing the EXs at the ground because they blow up next to the boss for double damage. That's really important, you know? I don't shoot them straight at him. I think by now you guys probably got that. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to roll a 3. So we'll have to actually wait for this one. There's a heart there. You could do 4 also. 4 is a good path. But yeah, you can just go for wherever the heart is on this one, on 4, 5, and 6. They're all fine. Or just whichever boss you prefer. Bait this ghost. Actually, you might want to use mini plane to bait him. I just realized he can be pretty fast sometimes. Yeah, you can use mini plane to get past him really consistently. You can go over here and super this guy. Or stay near the top of the screen, too. That'll help with the ghost. Yeah, just kind of take him down. What's cool about doing him is now you can actually roll straight to the 8-ball, which is like our preferred boss. You could do 7 if you really wanted. Eight ball is really easy. You guys won't have, he's super easy. Like, if you've never done it, you might get hit a few times, but then you'll get it down pretty quick. He's not bad. King Dice seems overwhelming because there's like all these bosses and you have to fight them back to back, but it's not too bad, and usually you at least get 1 bonus heart. Especially if you alter your route to get 1. He's not bad. And, yeah. I'll show you King Dice. And then we just got Devil and we'll be done. So just roll a 2 to get to that safe place, and now roll a 2 or 3 to get to finish. You can set up a little lobber trap there if you want, then switch to spread. Good over here. You can use 1. Keep in mind you can only use 1 EX per jump, so you can only do 1 spread EX there. If you're comfortable doing Cala swaps, you can do them. Yeah, it's not bad. And you see this will be a reasonable time. Yeah, see that's not even a bad time at all. And that was nothing too difficult or crazy. Getting some more water real quick. All right, we made it this far. We're at the very end. This tutorials went on like a longer than I hoped it would. So I apologize for that. I got interrupted a couple times too. But it turns out that it takes a while to show off all the different RNG and stuff like that. So thank you guys for bearing with me so far. Thankfully, all this will be timestamped, so the people struggling on certain fights or that want to go through it, they'll be able to just skip to the part that they're struggling with. And I think that I've given it a decent representation of how to handle these fights from a beginner to intermediate level. All right, Devil, the final boss. Okay, final boss of the tutorial. Just spam A. Don't make a deal with the devil. It'll be for a different category if you make a deal for the devil than the one we're doing. We're doing all bosses, so we do have to fight him. All right. So let's just basically switch to spread shot. This guy's pretty hard. Phase 1's the hardest. If you get spider, just shoot lobber up. And if he's gonna fall on you, just dash out of the way. Because sometimes he'll land on your lobber shots. That's not bad. Switch back to spread. You could use an EX here with the Cala swap. Like, if he's about to do the hooves, just jump and do an EX with the Cala swap. Or you can jump and dash. I think jump and EX gives you a bigger window. Don't be afraid on these attacks just to run away if you get really scared and dodge. When he transitions, get out of the way of the skeleton, then dash into the hole. A cool tech here. Do you hear that sound effect that just played? I'll demonstrate it again. But once you see like the stalactites there, or when you hear that sound effect, just push start and push start again, and then push EX. And what this does is it actually skips the delay down here. I'll show what the delay looks like normally. For this guy, just kind of dodge, aim at the eyeball. You'll see where the bullets are hitting. See, the bullets are hitting there. If you're aiming in the middle, you're not hitting him very well. So try to aim at this. You can also do spread EXs inside this, which works pretty well. I'll be going through this fight a few times. Kind of just shoot up at this, dodge all these guys. You can kill these things if you want, if they're really giving you trouble, but you'll probably be fine. You could just get used to dodging them. One important thing about this last phase, because you do not want this to kill your run, and it's killed my runs before. It's killed lots of people's runs. On this last phase, he can drop a poker chip on you, and he's crying, and the tears can hurt you. So it's worth practicing this jump right here. There's actually a space in between this and the tier. See, like right there, where you can dodge. You can dodge on the left too, whichever you feel comfortable with. And just, normally you would be spreading him and trying to finish him off. I'm actually going to retry before killing him so that we don't get the ending. We don't have to go through the credits. So now I'll show you guys some other patterns and explain some other things about the fight. But yeah, just hold lobber up, get out of the way. The little purple guys, see him going off screen there to the right? That's how you know which side he's going to come on. See, now I know one's going to be coming over here. They die really easily. Using EX to hover. This is probably the worst attack to dodge. You could parry that. This thing always circles the same way, but the problem is it follows you. See how it's following me right now? So you kind of just have to dodge this. Just run away from this guy. You get on the other side of the screen, you'll be fine. One important thing to note, if you do run away from that guy like I just did, keep your eye out for a purple guy. If a purple guy's gonna, because he might pop out like right on top of you, so just keep that in mind. And you might have to jump over him. Alright. I want to show what it looks like when you don't push pause. See how Cuphead's like, it takes a while before you can shoot? That's why I hit the pause button. Also, you want to parry these so they don't blow up. You can use the X's here, like I was saying. Get out of the way of this. The poker chips. So the poker chips start by going either left or right, and then they just do that forever. So like this poker chip is just going to go right. Like next one's going to land here. Next one's going to land here. Next one's going to land here. You get the idea. See, I should have parried that. Next one's going to go there, and then it's going to go over here and then just cycle through. Sometimes they'll start going the other direction, and they just stay that way for the rest of the fight. So for the entire fight, it's going to be the same pattern. So because one just fell in the middle, I know I won't have to deal with them for a little while. You kind of jump up here, spread EX that guy, dodge stuff. Here's where your dodge practice might come in. So there, that would kill him. You can see he's at 4 HP. I feel like I haven't showed off all the attacks. Oh yeah, there's the bubbles. So here's the dodge. See how I did a jump dash if you don't have an EX or you don't want to use an EX? That's an option to avoid getting hit by that attack. So yeah, this attack's a nightmare. This attack gives everyone the most trouble. If you get it, you just gotta basically focus on dodging it, even if you miss a lot of damage. You can run away from this guy. See that purple guy, though? That's what I was talking about. You gotta watch for him. I'm gonna do the pause strat again. Again, when you visually see the stalactites on the screen, or you hear this sound. Hear that sound? I push pause, unpause, and then EX. And that'll skip that animation. Kind of some cool speedrunner tech. Parry that thing. You can use the EXs on these eyes. Remember about the poker chips. This time they're going right. Same as last time, actually. But yeah, again, if you're having trouble, don't be afraid to kill one of these guys, maybe. Kill those little guys if they're giving you trouble. You can, all these guys are killable. If you know how to Cala swap these eyeballs. And that's it. Like, that's the whole Cuphead speedrun, dude. Oh man, so for people that have made it through this whole video, like, you now shouldn't have a general basis of how to get through the entire speedrun. So I really hope that was helpful to people. Before I finish this, it's really worth mentioning that there's going to be, you can look in the chat if you're watching the highlight. For this pace spin, this has everything that I use. Like, if you see my, like I'm talking about all kinds of different things, all the links for that will be in here, including a link to the advanced tutorial and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate everyone that showed up. We're going to be doing an advanced tutorial in just a bit. I'm going to be taking a break in between tutorials. So for anyone that's like, hey, this guy didn't seem that good, I've seen people kill the game way faster. We'll be doing an advanced tutorial, and I'll be going into all the world record strategies for the people who want to level up and go even further beyond that. But yeah, for newer players, like, dude, this game is really fun. It's a really fun speedrun. I've speedrun other platformers and stuff, and this has been my favorite for sure. It's a really enjoyable game to play, and just such an awesome, well-made, beautiful game in general. So I really hope that other people have enjoyed speedrunning this as much as I do. If you guys do want to see runs of this category, make sure to follow. There's so many people I could shout out. I know SPD Wolf just started doing runs of this category with this route, with the lobber spread route. So that'll be really cool to see. He's trying to grab the world record back from me. Yeah, you can follow my channel too if you want. There's other people, Jason2890, I believe that's his Twitch handle. I know Dash Q in chat, if you look in there. Zero Planes. You know, feel free to follow all these. Basically, like, everyone in chat that you see right now, they basically all speedrun this game, so you can see people of varying skill levels that are going to be going through it. It's definitely worth doing that. But if you want to see a lot of runners, join the Cuphead Discord. A link to that will be in the pay spin, where I type !tutorial. That'll also be in the description of this video, this highlight, so you guys can check that out. It has links to also the optimal times, videos of those optimal times. We're gonna have the live split timer that you have to use for official runs. It's in there. It's also got the splits for this route already done for you, so you just download them and push open splits and open these, and you'll have fresh splits to start speedrunning this. It's got auto splitter already programmed into it. What auto splitter is how we time this game for official runs, is on PC at least, and is the game pauses on load screen so that people with faster load times don't have an advantage. So the timer auto does that for you and everything. It auto splits for you. It's really nice, and I think that alone will help a lot of people out. So yeah, is there anything else that anyone feels I should add, or any questions that you guys have for the beginner intermediate tutorial because I'll be ending the highlight of this soon. But yeah, also congratulations to people that did watch this and they're now doing their first Cuphead speedruns. Like, good luck, guys, and I hope you get your first Deathless run soon. Once you get that Deathless run, your times will already start being pretty nice. By the way, this tutorial is good enough to get you, like, 35-minute or under times. You eventually can reach that point with just these strategies. Nothing in the advanced tutorial, just doing this stuff. You can reach those level of times with these strats. So, pretty sweet times. Like, you can beat the video game pretty fast. Questions for advanced. Yeah, I'll be highlighting all of the beginner intermediate stuff. The poor souls that got dragged into Cuphead speed. No, Cuphead speedrunning is really fun, man. Current patch especially. Yeah, if you guys have seen this game beat by, like, if you just saw this game speedran at, like, GDQ, you were seeing a legacy version of the game, so if you're like, why are these bosses dying so slow? Why is he not using roundabout? And why are there not 2 weapons flying out of his hands all the time? That's because this is the current patch of the game and they fixed all those glitches. So we have to actually deal with the bosses instead of just instantly killing them. Which, in my opinion, makes for a more interesting category, but Legacy's really cool too, and you guys should check that out if that interests you more. But hopefully this tutorial helps you out for current patch. But yeah, I'll be doing the advanced tutorial now. I'm going to take a break. Thank you guys for watching the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully the timestamps helped skip through some of the minor breaks I took throughout. I know that was kind of long. It was longer than I'd hoped for. But yeah. How do you guys feel about the tutorial? You think it went well? Let's see. Oh yeah, the only attack I didn't show on Devil was the bubbles. But that's the easiest attack to dodge. You'll never have trouble with that. If you had been on time. Seems good.
I hope that explains that to beginners and helps intermediate players out too.
Yeah, we'll be going into advanced stuff next. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.